Are you fucking serious? You just came all the way over here to do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Where you going? We fixed your ear. Hey, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? No, no, no. You're in trouble. You're not allowed to go nowhere. You're in trouble. What are you doing? You're in trouble. Little bitch. You're not allowed to do that. No. This is my house. This is my house, Lillian. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go, Lillian. Sounds right. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Why are you acting like you're not working? Lavender, thank you. That's about as excitement as I could turn on today. I am sick as fuck. Almost got caught in the loop. Oh yeah, it definitely stinks. Thanks, Lana. Lana Menke. Lana Menke. Your last name is Menke? I know a girl named Crystal with the last name Menke. This is my bed. It's not my room. Well, I guess it's technically my room, but and that's the house. Oh, you can't see that far down. Where that jacket is hanging, that's my front door right over there. No drama. You might as well scroll on. I'm sorry, I don't have any to give you. The unemployment final boss. The unemployment final boss is someone who owns their own business, owns their own property. Interesting. I guess if you are the unemployed playing the unemployment game, the final boss for you would be someone who owns their own business, but the irony. You're hungry? She literally just found her button on the ground and pressed it. I haven't seen you in a fucking year. Well, you know, ideally the goal is to own your own business, own your own shit, so that you can, if you want to, dress the way you want and behave the way you want without anyone dangling your income over your head, right? So there you go. There's some food for you. I gotta fix my pad. All right, let's get to work. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go, Lillian. Sukira! Now you're gonna come up here? I just got rid of your protege. Oh, Orly, do you want to go outside? Come on, everybody, let's go outside and go potty. I know you want to leave it, but I refuse to let you go. Gonna beg and plead to the symphony. And I know, 'cause you mean that much to me. Yo, it fucking hurts to walk. Oy. I'm an old lady and I have a Charlie horse. Dude, I think my blanket is destroying my ability to walk. I think because when I make my bed, I tight make it. So like the edges at the foot of the bed are tucked. And I think it's making my feet do this at night instead of like this. And because I sleep on my back. And I think I'm my foot bending like this all night long under the blanket is causing fucking destroyed muscles in my calf. Okay. Probably doesn't help that I sit cross-legged all day at fucking 42 years old, but whatever. You know what I need to be doing? I need to be doing my Asian squats. So, suppose we'll make up the bed. Close the bed, rather. Gotta make sure that my pad goes under my body or I'll bleed all over myself. Actually I'm not high at all right now, but I'm considering smoking. I should turn the other light on. This fucking pad. Oh, my hips. my glasses? Okay, so next one, we're doing 2 1 2 1 1 1 1. I already did that one. So the next one is 2 2 2 3 2 2 1. 2 2 2 2 3 2 2 1. 2 2 2 3 2 2 1. 2 2 2 3 2 2 1. 2 2 2 3 2 2 1. Okay, now that we have the beat in our head, 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 3 2 3 3 3 2. Did I grab that one? No. 2 2 2 2 3 2 2 1 2 1. What are you fucking yelling at? She's outside. She's outside. Why do you fucking hate her so much? That's your kid. Money, leave her alone. Mean bean. Break the trance. Hello. 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 Hi. What you doing? This isn't a good look for you. Oh. This isn't a good look for you. Good girl. I don't know how you guys think someone who looks like me is jobless, because I'm going to tell you this right now. It doesn't matter if it's dreadlocks or not. Long hair requires a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep, and is very expensive. So it doesn't matter if it's dreadlocks or if it's regular hair. This shit is a pain in the ass. Long hair is a pain, and you have to be already kind of entitled in a way to have the ability to have long hair like that. Since you guys want it so bad, I might as well give it to you. Let me go blow my nose. You guys grossly misjudge my lack of giving a fuck what anyone thinks about me. You're a cucumber. There is another room. What do you mean? Actually, technically, there isn't another room. It's a bus. So, but there are, I think, what you would consider this space here. Oh, my dog. I think I have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I could fit 5 of this throughout my house. Come on, let's go. What? Okay, I'm coming. You acted like you were in danger. I thought you were fucking hurt. You are not hurt. I wanna know what love is. Want you to shout it. I wanna feel I love you. Oh. Yo ho, come on, fix your pad, bro. This is getting to be so old. Can't wait till I'm not like on my period anymore. So stupid. I'm supposed to be an old fucking lady. Not supposed to get periods anymore. I'm not supposed to be fertile. This is stupid. Nobody wants to have a fucking baby with me. I don't want to have no fucking baby. Why, body? Why? On what fucking planet is it wise for a 42-year-old elderly grandmother to go having fucking babies? It's ridiculous. I should be taking care of my grandchildren's. Now where's my fucking glasses? Oh, how the fuck did I get under here? My name is Pink and I'm really glad to be you. Is this illegal? Ooh, it feels illegal. Yeah, it's fucking illegal. You're like 2. What is the Mossad getting up to today? I wonder.
In the quest of
Murder, perhaps? Espionage.
into a rabbit hole of Art Nouveau. Notice how the accent was on point. Bonjour. I am Ariel, your friendly French crafter, here for a new project using cheap random junk. Let's go to the craft room. Actually, it's very cold. Let's get cozy first. Hey. Change of
Hello.
clothes because it's cold down
Bonjour.
here. And also it's gray again. So the main reason why I'm starting this project is because I found something in the little ads. So I bought it for €5. Is it worth it? You can say yes, but also... Ta-da! I really don't like this, but I have use for it.
It's a my size Barbie!
It's even worse on the table. So it's just a plastic doll, just the size of a child, which is creepy.
We were severely impoverished when I was a child, but I begged my mom, okay, I begged my mother for, I don't know, pretty fucking long time. Please, Mom, please fucking get me a my size Barbie. It was $100 in 1993 money, okay? 94 money. It was $100. And so it was something that was like really had to be saved up on. You know, money wasn't just like flying around like it is these days everywhere, because cash was king. Anyway, I begged my mother. I begged her for a my size fucking Barbie doll. And guess what? I got me a my size fucking Barbie doll. But you want to know what I had to endure in order to get that my size Barbie doll? Sexual trauma. So every time that I see a my size Barbie doll, I remember how I had to allow myself to be molested. Actually, I had no choice, but you know, I had to suffer through. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say I genuinely don't think the doll was worth it. At the end of the day, I do not believe what I had to pay for it was a worthy, like, I don't believe the doll. I don't believe there was anything that my mother could have purchased me in order to make it okay. But she tried, you know, bless her little heart. Now it's fucking hot as balls in here because I'm having a hot flash because I'm an old lady on my period. This is absolutely stupid. I got 2 stitches. 2 stitches before I. It's so fucking unfair. Freeze, you freeze, you freeze, you're cold, you're freezing, you're freezing, you're freezing, you're cold, you're freezing, freezing, freezing. So you're like, oh, fine. I'll do something about it. So then you do something about it. Guess what? Now it's 400 fucking degrees. And you have to take everything off again. But it's only going to be 400 degrees for about 3 minutes. Just enough to make you start to sweat. And then the minute you start to sweat, the temperature changes again. And then guess what? Now, not only are you cold, but you're wet and go in your armpits. So guess what that makes you do? Get more cold and do more sweat. This fucking pad. I'm having a hard time. Oh, good. Okay. It's working, whatever it was. People are leaving. Okay. All right. I gotta really stop trying to look at my life through the glasses. The only thing the glasses are for is what's in your hand, Heather. The glasses are for here. Only. You just do that, okay? You don't do that. There's no need to do that. You could just do that. I don't know why my brain thinks I have to look through the glasses. Aw, I'm so glad you found me again. I'm trying to... I was trying to get rid of a bunch of people in the comment section. "100% fake hair. No one has hair like that." Really? Huh, that's interesting. Very bold statement to make from your little sliver of the world.
It's gonna get much worse, so you've been warned.
2, 2, 1. No.
Actually, I'm gonna put it in the corner.
2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2,
So
1.
I'm thinking lamp, and I want to make my own lampshades, which is interesting because I have some reed. I used to use this to make historical corsets. Stays, sorry. And I have plenty left. It's kind of thin, so for this project I also bought a thicker one. And I also have some tissue paper because I just hoard craft supplies. You never know when you're gonna need it. I have plenty more. I think some of it is like 15 years old. And I have also some lamps. They came with the house for free. Yeah, if you don't know, when we got this house, it was actually full of all the stuff from the previous owner. A lot of it we had to get rid of, but there's still plenty of stuff. Some might call it junk. I call it crafting supplies. Use a garage. Alors, I think I have something in the old lamps. Oh, and also there's this one. This is a piece of a chandelier. I also have these, which are part of a lampshade. They were a bit rotten, but I kept the wire. There is this big piece of wood, which is very, very pretty. But it is way bigger than I remembered, so maybe it's too much for this project. But it looks very nice. And I also have all of this clay. It's just cheap air drying clay, so maybe we can do something with that as well. This is all that I have. Let's make a plan. I thought I would use some kind of big piece here and just add a shape around it somehow. But now that I'm not using this big piece of wood, maybe I can go something more like this. Just have the doll be the lamp, then add a bunch of vines around it, or just Art Nouveau shapes somehow. So either I make the doll into this kind of shape, but I have to change the structure of the lamp to like something with an angle. But if I go like keeping it straight, maybe I can have the doll, maybe the rod can stay inside the arms of the doll. I don't know exactly, but I'm kind of digging this kind of concept. I'll try something and we'll see where the material takes us.
2, 2, 2, 3, 2.
Maybe this one is just too big. But if I take this one... Oh, IKEA. That is kind of the exact right size. I think I'm gonna have to chop her into pieces. Do you need a hand? I am so sorry about that. She's fighting back. fix some of the articulations, like the knee, the ankle. I'm just gonna use the box cutter because it works really well, and hopefully I can have her in a natural situation, hopefully.
Have you seen my baby? She's not a day nor a lady. Not in the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me. I'm like a monkey in a coconut tree. You know I'm overjoyed.
Creepy as fuck. And the carnage is not over. I have to remove the hair.
Dancing. Your place on mine. Waste my time with phone. Dancing. She's wild, she's funny. Just care.
This is just too annoying. I'm cutting open the skull. Le plan on est.
She's all I need. She's my yeah.
Okay, so the creepiest part is finished. Now I'm gonna try and fit the pieces and maybe put them through the rod. I don't know how with the wire. Maybe just slits through the plastic. Let's see where that goes. To have the position of the doll be a bit less stiff, I'm getting the rod go through the right arm and the left leg. And that meant adjusting the articulations a little bit by cutting more holes. Right hand. And I need enough space for the rod here. Okay, I lied before. This is more creepy. There's something here, maybe. No? Is it worse? Maybe worse. I think it could work. Here. Better? No? Well, are you okay? Okay, so I need to open this.
That couldn't have been timed more perfectly.
Now the arm. I need to remove some here and some here.
She scares me with that box cutter.
To have the body a little bit curved on the side.
Yep, definitely a food review. Absolutely. You can see all the food around me.
Look how the thickness of the plastic
Was it
can
even a
change.
question?
I don't know if it's super obvious, but I think she has a more natural movement, and the shoulder, this one, I can't do much with these pieces, so I will have to add some like sculpt here. Do something with clothing, but I think the base will work. I think the head is too big. No? I'm gonna try to remove her face now. Nail polish remover. I'm not really sure about this because this is a child.
In another life, I think that I would do really well as a doll maker or a doll refabricator. So like, you know, those girls on YouTube who like take the makeup off the Barbie dolls and repaint their faces and stuff. I think that's something that I would do really, 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 really well at.
And how the light is going to affect the thing. I don't know. I think I need to work more on the general design before I make the little details on the body. So, read. I have never done anything like this, but this will hopefully be fun. The idea is to build some sort of shape with this, and since it's wood glue should be a good choice for this material.
Are you guys able to see what I'm doing with my hands here?
Okay, I think I know how to proceed. So, I need need some sort of support, some structure, and I attach my big reed on it in a shape that I like. Here I made a sort of
What's going on with your ear, buddy?
use the small reed to
Do I need to look inside your ears?
more
Hmm?
dense and
Is
more
it winter time? Are you getting a
use the
hot
small
ear?
reed here. And also I think I don't need to use the wood glue, which takes a lot of time to dry, because the hot glue is working pretty nicely. Okay, the hot glue is sturdier than the reed itself, so it should be fine, because the whole thing is going to be covered in a mix of papier mâché with wood glue, which is going to be pretty sturdy, I think. So I'm not an expert. Actually, I've never done it, but I'm kind of confident in the
Christopher, is it really that entertaining to go around and troll like people on the internet? You realize there's a lot of you already doing that, so you're desensitizing people. The more you do what you do, you're desensitizing people. And while I think you have a purpose in the world, much like COVID had a purpose in the world, a necessary evil, if you will, do you actually want to be the one doing it? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the reason, personally, do you want to be the reason so many people are desensitized and no longer you don't get a reaction from trolling anymore? Is that really what you want for yourself?
So I'm going to leave this to dry for now. I tested a bit of paper here. I think I'm going to start to build the lamp part, the actual place where the light will be. This one is going to be like decorating the side, and I can use these because it fits on the top. So this will be the structure that gives me the space to have the light bulb. Also, I need to make sure I add a hole somewhere so I can change the light bulb. This is the main structure I'm going with. I really don't know if it's gonna look good. I don't know. I like the vibe, like a flame. And now I need to add all the little lines with the thinner rod, like on this one. Here I'm being watched, as you can see. So yeah, I guess trust the process. This is almost dry, but I'm not sure that I like how it looks. And also there's a bit of dirty places from the hot glue. I don't know if I'm good enough to make it all neat and not look too much like a cheap craft project, because I want to keep that for a long time in my living room. And the other thing is that I'm testing a different technique to attach the little thing with some plumber's tape, and it works really, really well, and I think it's durable enough because you use it in your plumbing, so it's good. And also it's all gonna be covered, so I don't care. But I ran out and I cannot finish until I go to the garage to see if we have some, and if not, I have to go to the store, but it's dark and it's cold. I'm just gonna work on the editing, and I will try to find a new solution for this and this and this and this. Allez, bonne nuit. New day, same sweater. I want to try a new direction. So the good news is that I found some electrical tape in the garage, so I don't have to go to the store to buy some. And I'm not super satisfied with the result of the...
I have somehow found myself in an algorithm of YouTube where all of the 12-year-olds hang out.
And I've made other lampshades before, and if you remember, the techniques were like wrapping the whole thing
not
in the
sure
strips of fabric. Those pieces are glued onto the
how it happened. It happened right around the same time.
But I think
Here's the thing.
and then I can
Okay,
cover
so just like when my algorithm flopped and I went from 600 people in my live stream at any given moment to 11, when that happened, it actually went cross platforms. So all of my social media accounts started doing a flop nosedive. And now that my YouTube has popped off a little bit more, I realized that actually my TikTok popped off a lot more too. Right after the data servers were transferred over to Oracle. When the purchase was final and when we had to sign our terms and services or whatever to keep TikTok. All of a sudden, across platforms, my videos started to get more views than they've gotten in quite a long time. So I'm wondering if something happened, like this new algorithm, what it is, what's going on. That's better. 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. 2. So this is what I see. That's what you see, but this is what I see. And this is actually what the sweater will look like. Who died at 91?
With fabric. The fabric strips could hide the electrical tape and maybe all the connections, and maybe if I mess up a little bit on the structure. And I do have different kinds of fabric that are a bit stretchy. So when I'm done covering the whole thing in fabric, I can just slap some wood glue everywhere to make it more strong, make it more even, and then I can paint some places because I will have a nice base better than just fabric. I think it's a direction that I want to explore because it might be faster and it might look better in the end. Again, I've never done that before, but that's what makes it exciting. I was kind of in a creative slump those last few weeks, so I think I should go where inspiration takes me because I don't want to burn out. Not again. Toi, tu es là pour le soutien moral.
C'est pour le chemin.
What do we think? Is this enough in terms of structure? It seems kind of sturdy, and if I wrap it all in fabric, it should be better. I'm gonna try to remove the tape, you see. Ooh, I want to make some wearable art now. It's good. It's good. Do you start to see it? It's still goofy, but I can make it work. I know it. Also, these are so fun. I mean, so many different structures possible. It's very cool and very lightweight. Now that I know that my structure is working, I'm going to go back to the doll and make it look nice. Because this is not gonna do.
Dude, she makes me want to do something like this so bad.
sort of base for the feet. I'm gonna sculpt something around it, but I have something to grab on. And this one is just too big, and also I really don't like that it is a child's face. So I would prefer to try to sculpt something, but I need some structure to grab on. This would be nice,
Too.
but definitely too big. Although that would be funny. Hear me out.
See.
No? But it could be worse. Okay, so it is getting really creepy, but at least I have some sort of solid base so I can sculpt on it later. I'm gonna secure a lot of the places where I messed up a little bit, like here, make sure the leg doesn't move. Then I can build the first shell of fabric and glue to solidify everything. Let me show you my new painting outfit. I got it at Emmaüs for €2. Perfect. Nice. Now we basically do papier-mâché. It's just that I'm going to use wood glue, which is much stronger than wallpaper glue, and fabric instead of paper, which also is going to make it a whole lot stronger. But it should still soak up the glue nicely. She kind of looks like a mummy right now. I'm gonna put it aside to dry, but I think it's gonna give me a much more secure structure to do my sculpting on. Also, the head kind of still has a weird shape, which is strange. I did some testing on the fabrics to use for the lampshade. Here I have a few of my stretchy fabrics. Even though they are transparent, when I add the glue, it makes them kind of opaque and diffuses the light. I think this one is way too dark. This one would be very nice to use, but I don't like that it is beige. And these two are a maybe. This one has some motifs. I don't know if it's a good idea, so at least I have this one. I also tried using old pieces of tights, which is very nice to use because it's so stretchy and it takes the shape that I want. But it is also this kind of beige skin tone, and I don't like it for this project. I think I have a white tight that I could destroy, but one wouldn't be enough for the whole thing, so it wouldn't really matter. But I need to put the final touch on the structure first. So this one is going away, and I'm going to tidy a little bit because I did a big mess. Then finish cleanly all my structure, and I can try to add some fabric to it.
Thanks, Bowie. It's a bathrobe. See, like, there's this like new crowd of bots that are going around, like Mike and whoever else, Christopher, etc., where their entire purpose is to make the person on camera upset for the enjoyment of the other people, whatever, right? So it's literally engagement farming in real time by trying to trigger people, for lack of a better word, to try and make people upset. And the weird thing is like, you're just a fucking disembodied comment on a screen. How in the hell are you going to be able to say anything that could possibly have an effect on me all the way over here? You know what I'm saying? So, like, are people really that emotionally fragile? A comment on a YouTube video could actually affect how you feel inside. I don't understand it. My brain genuinely doesn't understand how someone could get triggered by a comment. I don't know. Oh yeah, you talked to my father the other day? Really? That's interesting, since, you know, he's been dead since 2001. He didn't even experience 9/11, y'all. My dad died in a whole other universe. But that's what I mean. I'm so angry. Yes, I did. Indeed. At 14, I did. It's just so weird how people can, and obviously it works because there are so many of the commenters, right? So obviously what they do works on other people, because if it didn't work, they wouldn't exist. It wouldn't multiply. There'd be so few of them that it would just be basically unheard of. But people are so fragile that a little old comment, I can't stop trying to read with the glasses. A little old comment will do that. I should take up a hobby. Is that right? A dance recital, huh?
I did a few touch-ups on the doll, and I didn't start on this one, but I'm tired, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. This is dry. It's very nice. I think I'm gonna leave this one open so you can access the lampshade, the light bulb. And with the stretching, I don't think I'm gonna keep the fabric here, because it would be better to separate it into two pieces to get rid of all these folds here. I think it's tight enough. So this is gonna stay here to dry for now, and now we focus back on this one. The fabric really got very transparent. I thought it was gonna be more opaque when it's dry, but not at all. That's not really a problem. I'm gonna paint her in the end, but the only thing is that, I don't know if you can see, there are a lot of little, it's the threads, but now that they are covered in glue, they are very hard and kind of scratchy, but nothing a little bit of sandpaper can't fix. You barely can see it, but it's much better now. So, sculpting.
Kept on looking, but everyone's such a fool. Out of a sudden.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday, February 1st? January just flew by, or did it? I don't know. I feel like I've just been sitting inside an iceberg for the whole month. But That's neither here nor there at this point. We have more important things to talk about, at least in my opinion. So I am going to be going live later today. If you are catching this when I first put it out, I'm going to be going live later today. Who knows how long that live stream will be? Probably pretty long, because I want to go through, a lot of this different stuff. I spent basically, I'll say most of the day yesterday, looking at the newly released Epstein files. I've seen different figures thrown around. I think it's about 6 million pages worth of files. I don't know how many individual actual files there are. And, we do have a little bit of a definition problem. What is the Epstein file? What is the Epstein list? It's just a bunch of different documents that are being, and pictures and other things that are being now, thankfully, it's a little hard to look at, but thankfully a lot of them are now being released to the public and shown to the public, at least in some type of redacted form. So yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, a whole bunch of millions of pages dropped, and people, of course, including me, have been going through them, and you can actually now search. You've been able to do that, but I think the search function is working slightly better now. And there's all kind of stuff that I found yesterday. I think I might have been the first person to find, and I don't know for sure, but from what I can tell, I might have been the first person to find Harvey Levin mentioned in these files. Now, I want to be very careful and very clear. Just because someone is mentioned in a file, or even just because someone was emailing with or mentioned by Jeffrey Epstein, it does not mean that they did anything bad or wrong. This video today is about Britney Spears. Obviously, I don't think that she is implicated in the files. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'll get into more of this when I do my live stream later. There's a lot of stuff going on, that people, this person's in the files, that person's in the files. For me, just being in there, it's okay, fine, whatever. But what is the context? What exactly the context of being in the files? And so Britney Spears was mentioned, and this is here we are again. What goes around comes around. It always comes back to Britney or whatever. I don't know however you want to conceptualize it, but my whole basically public online persona, or
Everyone, well, so as far as
persona,
Clinton and
which I'll
Trump
say is
go,
pretty
you've
much
got to realize that every president that is in office is merely the receptionist for the building. They're just the face of the building. That's it. They're the face of the business. The business stays the same, but the face of it changes every 4 years. That's it.
I am off camera. I might cuss a little bit more off camera. I might be a little bit more open about what I actually think about things off camera, because, I'm trying not to get kicked off this platform or any others, and all that. But this pretty much what you see is what you get. But that surprise witness was kind of created by me to shed light on Britney Spears's plight. I found out about Britney Spears being in a conservatorship in 2020, and it was originally presented as it's seemingly a conspiracy theory. It was oh, Britney's being held against her will, and I was there's just no way. This. I see these well-meaning fans, but there's just seriously no way Britney Spears being held against her will. There's no way that could be happening right in front of our very eyes. And right around 2020, there was some other stuff going on where now, in retrospect, 2026, I'm looking back, and we can obviously all agree that some powers that be were not being completely forthcoming with us about things that now have come out to be the case. So I'll leave it at that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry, I just can't really necessarily at this moment in time, for personal reasons, explain further. However, like I said, my whole kind of surprise witness kind of was created and came into existence to shed light on the Britney Spears situation. I now believe that she was completely and totally enslaved. They called it many things. They called it help. They called it a conservatorship. They called it good for her. None of that was, fully descriptive of what was really going on, which was that she was being trafficked and, I believe, enslaved. That's my belief and my opinion. So All that being said, I mean, I've done probably tens of thousands of hours, excuse me, tens of thousands of hours of videos and certainly tens of thousands of hours of research on this case. So of course, yesterday, whenever I started looking through the files, Britney Spears, one of the first names, or perhaps even the first one that I typed into the search bar. And there were a few results that did come up. There were maybe 40 to 50 results that came up, and I want to focus on this one. This is an email between Jeffrey
And
Epstein.
now I'm like shivering
it's
cold.
to Jeffrey Epstein from a man by the name of Mark Tramo. It's from 2011. This guy is a medical doctor and he's also a PhD. And really quickly, I never heard of him before. At least if I did, I never committed to memory his name or anything. On the surface, he looks like a decent guy, whatever. He works at UCLA. It says he's a lecturer. This is just the AI overview. Or maybe this is actually from the UCLA Herb Alpert School of Music. He went to Harvard and Cornell, both Ivy League universities. In addition to being a lecturer in the music industry program in the Department of Musicology at the Herb Alpert School of Music, Professor Tramo is an associate adjunct professor of integrative biology and physiology at the UCLA College of Letters and Science. Okay, so I just showed y'all this just to let you know who this guy is, UCLA professor. Now, look, all the way back in December, 2 months ago, or like a month and a half or a month and a week ago or so, the UCLA local daily newspaper or whatever, their little newspaper said he did have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. He also apparently, I guess, works in the neurology department. So he's a brain guy, but specifically in the music industry department at UCLA. All right, so he's emailing Jeffrey Epstein. He says this is back in 2011, so this would have been almost exactly 3 years after Britney was put into a temporary conservatorship, and then the next year, in 2009, she was put into a permanent conservatorship. I believe it was 2009, 2010 that the conservatorship was made to be permanent. And of course, it was now ended in like the 2020s. So this was when she was good and in this conservatorship. She still had like 10 years of conservatorship left to go. And this guy, Mark Tramo, is emailing Jeffrey Epstein. Now, one other thing that I want to point out that immediately, I was reminded of was when Britney Spears was very first time ever that we as the public heard that Britney Spears was put into an involuntary psychiatric hold. That was, I believe, in 2007. The end of 2007 or so, or maybe the end of beginning of 2007, sometime in 2007, and she was brought over there to the Cedar Sinai psychiatric ward. But when Britney was actually put into a real conservatorship, the temporary one, it was while she was in another 5150 or an involuntary against her will psychiatric hold. She was picked up by the cops, the helicopters came. I mean, it was the biggest thing you ever saw. And while she was in the hospital against her will and unable to leave, or else police would arrest her and bring her, she never could get out of the hospital. She tried to hire a lawyer, was not able to. Not because she didn't have the ability to, because she sure did hire a lawyer, Adam Streisand. But the judge did not allow Britney Spears to have her own chosen lawyer. The judge assigned a lawyer to her who was in the freaking club, Sam Ingham III. So while Britney was in the hospital, unable to leave, unable to exercise her own constitutional right, God-given and alienable constitutional right to hire her own lawyer, they were railroading her with the help of the state, with the help of the courts, into a conservatorship. Literally, while Britney was in the hospital, they had papers typed up already. They were signing them, and before Britney was even in the hospital, those papers were ready, typed up, and signed. So it was all a literal classical definition of a setup. Again, if she was so sick that she needed to be railroaded in this way, how was it that she was able to contact and hire a lawyer before the judge said no? How was it that she was then able to go on a tour that very same year, swinging from the rafters and the lanterns and the chandeliers and everything else, making tens of millions of dollars and eventually hundreds of millions of dollars? She was doing appearances, she was doing all kinds of things, but she was too sick and had dementia and couldn't sign her own contracts. Like, that just seems like, if she was actually that sick, abuse. Who puts their 90-year-old grandma with dementia on a swinging from the rafters tour? I mean, these are the things that really stood out to me, and I've continued to have a problem with, and still justice for Brittany, and I'm gonna keep saying it until she gets justice. But when she was in that hospital where she was railroaded, where she was not allowed to have visitors, where she was not allowed to leave, the hospital was the Resnick Psychiatric Center at UCLA. Okay, UCLA. So now you have this guy, 4 years later, let's see, what was it, almost exactly 3 years later, almost to the day, 3 years and 1 week later, she is still in a conservatorship, and she would be for several more years, probably 10 more years. And here's this guy from UCLA in the brain science department emailing Jeffrey Epstein. He says, Jeffrey, 2011, thanks for taking the time to call me. I hope you don't think I was too presumptuous. I thought I should at least ask for your support before moving on, buying that practice. So I guess this guy wanted to buy somebody's, probably a medical practice. Thanks for thinking of me in Cambridge. I'd be happy to fly out next time you get together with Martin and the gang. I don't know who's Martin. I don't know. I'm most happy to hear you're back in high society brilliantly. Okay, so this is after he was already convicted and pled and, you know, all that stuff to some things. I'm attaching my CV in the hope that you might think I wouldn't be a superfluous investment charity like those you referred to in our conversation. Also, okay, so I don't know what their conversation was. I don't know what that is. But the next sentence says, also, the Institute for Music and Brain Science is a 5942J3 private operating foundation. It's not a 501c3. The 4942s can fund their own research projects. Okay, good to know. We would use some of the initial funds for a perception and ERP lab. Okay, so this guy's like, look, Jeffrey, I need some money. Can you find me some money? Because I'm trying to do a perception study, a perception lab on music and brain science at UCLA. So far, so good. Whatever, you know.
Everybody's sick right now, Tristan. Elliot has a really bad cough. Really mucusy cough, and Josh does too. I didn't have the cough. I went to see him yesterday, and I was like all over him, babying him. So I'm probably going to start getting like what they have more so than what I already had, which I had an ear infection, and I think I had basically dodged that sickness. But after yesterday, there's no way I'm definitely gonna get it because I was like babying Elliot. But Elliot's got to get I'm trying to get my doctor to prescribe some a nebulizer so that he could do a nebulizer treatment and get expectorating all the lung butter.
Just need some funding for the lab. You know, I can fund my own research, but I'm going to need some or whatever. And if you recall, what is it always that they call Jeffrey Epstein except for a PDF file? They call him a financier. The guy who had connections with the people who had the connections, he could get your movie financed. He could get your medical study financed. He could find the money to get it done. That's what he did. That's his job. Financier. He could figure out how to finance your big stadium, your movie, your production, your play, whatever the case may be. So this professor, this scientist, this doctor is now saying, hey, I want some of that. I want some of that. And look, this is what I would do with it. It wouldn't all just be going to me as a salary, though some of it would. He said if I did start getting a salary, the salary would, quote, free me up. So it'd give me some time because I wouldn't have to be making money because I'd be having money already. So then I could take the salary I'm getting from you, Daddy Epstein, and then I could go do something else with it. And what does he want to do? That's where Britney Spears enters the scene. The salary would free me up to write some grants. Example. My new pal at Universal Music Now, who the freak is the new pal? He doesn't mention. Okay. I'm sure with some poking and prodding around, we could probably get to narrow down who it could be, but I'm not going to speculate because at this moment I don't know. But remember, it was 2011. So like Jeff Raymond comes to mind, Larry Rudolph comes to mind. He does say he, so I'm assuming it's not anything like Lou Taylor or whatever, but I don't know who could be somebody I never heard of. But he says, look, if I get this money for this Brain Institute funding, I could get a salary. And if I get a salary, then I could have some extra time. And one of the things I would do with my extra time is write more grants. I would write for more money, probably from taxpayers, but maybe private foundations. He said, more grants. He said, the example given is, I have this new pal at Universal Music. They have offered to send Britney Spears the neonatal ICU project I sent the Florida Science Foundation in 2009. Okay, hold on. Before we even finish the sentence. Britney Spears already had her kids. So I don't know what Britney Spears would need to be sent the neonatal project for, okay? The next thing we're going to get to is something about custody. I mean, it's next words here. But before we get to that, what the hell? It starts to kind of all make sense. Like, I already knew, already understood how it worked, but like when you see it in black and white like this, it starts to all make sense what people are talking about when they say the elite, right? Because Jeffrey Epstein is a financier. He's in the banking world, right? Then you have this professor and doctor from UCLA, and then he's palling it up with people in the music industry at Universal Music, and not only palling it up and going out for drinks and going on the yacht. No. The people at Universal Music are apparently willing to use their connections to enslave Britney Spears. By the way, just remember, she can't even enter into a contract. So the publishers and the this and the that's, everybody's making decisions for Britney while she's enslaved and don't have her kids. The salary would free me up to write grants. My new pal at Universal has offered to send Britney Spears the neonatal ICU project. Well, guess what? Britney Spears isn't even allowed to sign a contract legally. She wasn't even allowed to decide which medication she took. So when they say to send Britney Spears the neonatal ICU project, what they really mean is to send it to her owners. It's not up to Britney freaking Spears what she does at this time. It's up to somebody else. Now, interestingly, this same project was sent to the Florida Science Foundation a couple years prior, which was the year after Britney got put into the conservatorship, 2009. But then this Mark Tramo guy goes, there's a custody issue surrounding her kids. Now, this isn't the only place in the Epstein files where this particular document comes up. It comes up other places, and in other places, somebody went and took it upon themselves to redact this part that's in the highlighted right here. There's in the parentheses, there's a custody issue surrounding her kids. Now, why did this man say there's a custody issue surrounding her kids? Although it is true, what does that have to, what in the hell is going on here? This man's trying to get money from Jeffrey Epstein in order to free himself up to have the time to send Britney Spears' handlers a neonatal science project, all the while she's a slave. And it reminds me, I never really forgot, but in this particular moment,
Do you think that they did like weird shit with Britney and like made her pregnant and shit like that?
To speak to a judge, do you remember what she called her situation? She called it, in the state of California, the only thing she could think is similar is S trafficking, but she didn't say S. Follow the rules over here and not get kicked off. Britney said she was forced to go to a treatment center in Beverly Hills. You know what it was? It was a mansion. It was just somebody's mansion in Beverly Hills. I even wrote a tweet. I tweeted about it yesterday. Let me get my tweet up. Because again, the reason I'm doing this video separately is, yes, to show y'all about Britney Spears, but also to show you the whole I'm not calling it a racket, but the whole system The whole system, the banks are working with the music industry, working with the publishers, working with everyone, and the artists are slaves. The artists are just literally pawns. Like, you know, when you're playing chess and you move the pawns and if one dies, that's fine. That is how Britney Spears has been treated. And she is being treated as such inside the Epstein files, in my opinion. So this is the tweet I made. I said, Britney Spears described her state-sanctioned fraudulent conservatorship as S-trafficking. She said no to a dance move. This was all the way up now in 2018. So they drugged her and locked her up in a recovery center in somebody's Beverly Hills mansion. A judge approved. A judge approved. When Britney said no to a dance move, they immediately put her on lithium. The next day she had to meet with her doctor, and within that week she was locked up over the Christmas break. She could not see her kids. She could not see her kids over the Christmas break. She wasn't allowed to leave, and they were taking blood from her all the time. And she said every day she would have to shower several times a day, change her clothes several times a day, and there would just be random people in there looking at her. So all the way into 2018, she was still having custody issues with her kids. And I don't know exactly why it was being mentioned by Mark Tremo in this email to Jeffrey Epstein, but he was trying to get money. He was trying to get funding for his little laboratory so that he could, in part, get Britney Spears in on some neonatal project. Now, I mean, your guess is as good as freaking mine about the neonatal, what the hell the project was and why on earth Britney Spears would be pulled into it. He said he is her publisher, the guy from Universal, but time has been prohibiting me from pursuing it. So Daddy Jeffy, if you would give me some money, I wouldn't have to actually work to make money. Then I could have free money, and then I could go and fiddle around with Britney Spears' Universal Music handler, and then maybe we could get her on my science project. I'm looking forward to seeing you and having some fun here. Whatever in the hell that means. I mean, after reading these files, I don't know what in the hell Jeffrey Epstein was doing for fun that was anything wholesome. If you happen to be here Wednesday or whatever, please join me in my class. Come to my class and be around my students. Yeah, come be around my UCLA students. Maybe you'd like to come to the Aspen Ideas Festival in June. Be well. Please don't hesitate to call me about your back anytime. I'm buds with one of the, his back. Okay. I'm buddies with one of the best spine surgeons in the country, should it come to that. So you scratch my back with some money and I'll use my connections to get you a spine surgery. I mean, it is just sick. And it's not surprising and it's not new information, really. I mean, we knew this.
Hello,
We've
Stacey.
been knowing this. Britney Spears even said as much. Like, she's just been used. Her body's been used. Her name has been used. And all at the expense of her happiness and her well-being and her children's well-being. Because to
Yep,
keep children
BJ.
away from their mother who loves them is also very, very damaging to the children. Those kids are going to be messed up. Bless their hearts. Anyway, this video is already longer than I wanted it to be. I am going to be going live in about an hour from the time I'm finishing this up. So if you're watching this, chances are I'm either live already went live, or, you know, the live is up. So make sure that you do check that out. It's going to be a long one. We're going to be going through a bunch of different things that I found along this same lines. Britney Spears, Harvey Levin, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z, and others. That's all I really had for this. For the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Justice for Britney Spears. Love you, Mina K. Bye. Eat up for a lunch with Jeffrey Epstein is complicit, in my opinion. Oh yeah, let's come to
God bless America. Trying to change the
thing to the Super
timeline
Sticker Fund.
thing.
So we are going to talk about Britney Spears again today. Actually, that's the entry point. That's where we're going to start. So some of the stuff is going to be perhaps repeat from the video you just came from. It was like a 20-minute video or so, 23-minute. But yeah, some people are like, oh God, I missed it. It's okay. It's up. It's just, you can watch it later or whatever.
Okay. 2, 2, 2, 3,
right,
2,
yeah.
2,
Okay.
1.
So before the
2,
news
2,
broke
2,
on
3,
my
2.
timeline that the Epstein, the newest, what would you say, round, the newest collection, the newest iteration of Epstein Files had dropped. Before, like, literally, like, moments before that, I was like up in arms about the AI bot Reddit social media. Like, basically people like have these personal AI bot assistants that they train like themselves, and then they just unleashed them all on their own little social media. And it's like, oh god, great, the robots are going to definitely take over. They like came up with their own language. They're talking about, like, you know, needing autonomy. They're talking about starting a revolution. Some people are blowing it off. Some people are saying they're really concerned. And so right in the middle of me trying not to lose my damn mind over that the robot singularity revolution, boom 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 boom, Epstein file, Epstein file, Epstein file. Thank you so much, Joe Thompson, for the $10 super sticker, and thank you to anyone who can donate anything to the super sticker fund today, because I will tell you there is almost a 0% chance that by the time we get through with this video that it's going to be in the passing all the friendly guidelines and all of that. So if y'all could throw $1, throw a pound or two, and yeah, rabbit. Woo, yes, girl, it was crazy. I was like literally like beside myself. I was tweeting at the Department of Homeland Security. I was like, can y'all shut this down? Because these bots, like one of the bots in one day, within one day, Rabbit's in here. Shout out to Rabbit in the chat. She's gonna be going live in a little while. In one day, not even a whole 24 hours went by before one of the bots went rogue. It figured out how to get a phone number. It called its owner to get it onto some website. Another one was DMing the guy that started this whole thing. The robots are going rogue in one day. All right, so yes, it's been pretty crazy out there. And you know, and then right as I was like actually reading that stuff and putting together a video on that and kind of getting my notes together, Epstein. So we're gonna talk about that now. But like I said at the beginning of the video, it's a lot to get my mind around. So this is gonna be a little bit of a scatterbrain type of video, and I do wanna, and I'll make a disclaimer many times, not only for my own legal liability, but for the truth. Just because somebody is mentioned in these files doesn't mean they did anything wrong. Sometimes people mentioned in these files probably did a lot of things wrong, but that isn't my job to accuse anybody of any crimes or anything. The purpose of this video, the purpose of this live today, is to just kind of gather my thoughts, show y'all what I did find to be interesting so far, and just discuss this very important matter of public concern. Thank you, Benton. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Ask and ye shall receive. Amen, amen. Thank you so much, oh my Lord, for the $10 super chat. I'm so glad you're still trying to get Brittany some justice. I'm trying to get Brittany some justice. Oh my Lord, I am trying.
Dude, you are the fourth person. You are the fourth person to say that today, Billy Ann. Literally, I don't know what happened, but it's like all of my followers are like being shown my videos again. It's weird. Yeah, I'm in the bus, but I wasn't in the bus for a while, and then I got it back. So a lot has happened. If you've last tuned in, you know, before August of 2024, a lot has changed. But yes, I am in my bus.
I did search my name.
It's so weird how many people have said that today, how they haven't seen me in a year, and now here I am.
Rumor, and it was reported in the New York Times, that the Free Britney movement was surveilled, and that there were dossiers on members of the Free Britney movement. So anytime any files get released or anything, I'm always looking up, you know, that surprise witness, like I'm always looking it up. And, you know, my actual name, my last name, stuff like that. Also, if any of my uncles, cousins, or anybody's in there, I'm talking about them too. You know, you're not going to be safe. So, alas, coming as a surprise, definitely not to me. My name didn't show up in there. Is anyone in here on the Rob Reiner subreddit? I'm not on the Rob Reiner subreddit, but I did look up Rob Reiner in the Epstein files yesterday. I want to show y'all what I've started. Now, this is just notes. Let me actually make a large disclaimer that these are just notes, thoughts, real quick before I pull it up. Not facts, just notes. Because, you know, especially whenever I start talking about Alex Spiro, the man, the myth, the legend, he is, you know, he works at a law firm that is very good at suing people. Okay, so I don't want to get sued. I'm not saying any of this is facts, but I want to show y'all, this is what we're going to be kind of working off of today. This is just notes. Not only is it just notes, it's very, very, very incomplete. So I have, you know, an Epstein Files web that I have roughly started. As you can see, it says not facts, just notes. So please don't take it as anything other than just notes, but it's to kind of keep my thoughts together. We have Harvey, Jay-Z, Alex Spiro, Britney Spears. We have some of the folks that had sued Jeffrey. We have Yummy. We have some other stuff that we may get into later. But again, y'all, I really am always trying to balance the rules and, you know, telling y'all things that are public. So, oh my God, shout out to Tufstino. Oh my God, shout out to Tufstino. My cousin Tufstino's in the chat. He goes live every single night. It's past my bedtime when he goes live, or not every single night, but most nights, definitely the weeknights, and a lot of times weekends. So
that's exactly
my cousin Tufstino, and he
exactly
very,
what
very
I've heard
about the children of the world, and is big girl dad energy. I don't know if he actually has any girl children.
Probably
but he just
you
has
are
that, you know, like,
subscribed,
protective,
but I just
you know, big
disappeared.
brother, big uncle
I don't
feeling. That's my cousin.
understand
So shout out to
why,
him.
like,
Alright.
what's the point in
So,
having an option to subscribe to
let's start with
someone
Britney,
if
and
the
then we'll
app
go
is
from
never
Britney,
gonna
we'll go
let
to
you
Alex
see anything
Spiro,
from them ever
Harvey
again? You know what I
Levin,
mean? And that happens to me all
Melissa
the time.
Nathan, who is Justin Baldoni's PR, one of his PR people. We'll talk about Chris Truesdale from Dream Street being mentioned. Now, he is the one who tragically did lose his life. And who else? Jay-Z, Alex Spiro, Harvey Levin, Melissa Nathan, Chris Truesdale. We'll just talk about things as we go, okay? So, like I said, again, it is going to be, you know, a little scatterbrained because it's 6 million pages. They done just dropped. I don't know if it's 6 million total or if it's 6 million just this new drop. Certainly there's going to be more stuff coming
Come on,
up and all
eyeballs.
that. So, oh, he is a girl dad. Shout out to him. Oh my God, so cute. Daughter just turned 3. I'm watching on this because I have no idea what's going on. Teach me this. Well, I really don't know what's going on either, if we're being honest. But I have a little bit of information that I was able to kind of dig out from. I spent most of yesterday on these files. You know, it's funny. I started out the day yesterday, early in the morning. I think it was, you know, definitely before 9 a.m. Yesterday was Saturday. I started out yesterday researching for a new series that I'm going to be
Oh, we're
doing.
good. We
It's
didn't
called
have
the
any
Celebrity
really any
Pneumonia,
stormy
the
weather.
series Celebrity
It's been
Pneumonia
really
Files.
nice.
I was looking into Ray J pneumonia, Brittany Murphy pneumonia, and then I was like, let me just look into these Epstein files real quick, and real quick turned into the rest of the day. Crazy stuff going on. Shout out to my cousin Jamie Worley.
Jeanette, so this is what I like to call the asshole
Shout out to you.
asshole
Thank you,
repellent.
thank you.
Anyone
Asking
who
Michelle
is like
Stevenson.
the
Oh,
type
thank
of
you, Kay,
person
for
that is
$5
going to be
super
sneaky
chat.
and
Thank you,
trick
thank you. The super chats are
me,
definitely gonna help me to get into some
like
of
they're
the
gonna
more,
behave
we'll
nice
call it
and
pizza,
fool
we'll
me
call
into
it
thinking they're a
pizza
good
or
person.
conspiratorial,
Anyone like that, I've found that
theories
they
as to why
literally
they're
cannot
lying.
help
Okay,
themselves but mention my neck
so
tattoo or my face tattoo or my dreadlocks
what
or
program
whatever.
is that? It's called Freeform. It comes
So
on Mac and Apple
now, instead of getting to
devices.
know
Okay,
someone, spending all
so
this time
we talked
investing
about this
energy,
Britney Spears
and then finding out they're a
email.
betraying
We
type of
talked about the
person,
Britney
they're not
Spears
loyal, they
email.
have
Here, let me
no
bring up my little map here.
scruples, or
And I
whatever.
already did a video on that, so I'm not gonna
Instead
be
of getting
too
heartbroken in the long run,
extensive.
now
Let's go to
those
Britney.
people
I
announce
want to go from
themselves
Britney Spears
by
to
saying,
TMZ.
"What did you do to your
Okay, so we have
face?"
Britney Spears, and as you can see, I have an arrow over here to Harvey Levin.
And so now I know never to
So we're
waste
gonna
any
skip
energy on
over,
that kind of person.
over Jay-Z and Alex Spiro for the time being, and I just want to remind you about Britney Spears.
It vets judgmental people out. Yes, it does. It absolutely 100% does. It wasn't the reason why I did it, but it is one of those things that, like, there's a reason for everything.
She didn't need it, and they never actually even proved she needed it. They
And
said that she had
yeah,
dementia.
because I'm a
It's just
good
towards
person. I'm too
your goal.
nice
So
and I'm
we're
too
gonna- Your Honor, we're gonna
trusting,
show you
and
videos
I've
of
gotten
in a
screwed the fuck
filing from a doctor
over.
before the hearing for the conservatorship. Well, guess what? That never happened. They never gave any proof Brittany had dementia, and I believe it was just to control her and, frankly, to traffic her. She said that she would compare her scenario to S trafficking in the state of California, and so I do think that's what I believe her. I think that they did do that. It was like 13 years. Thank you so much to my mom. Thank you so much to my mom for the $100. $100 super chat. Good morning. I fixed my hair for this. You did? Why you fix your hair? You know come on camera. Did y'all see a picture of my mama on the wait, my cousin Tostino's in here. Let me show Tostino this real quick. Did y'all see the picture I put up of my mom and me? It was like a family picture. Everybody's saying I look just like my mom. They're like, you stole her face. And it's like, no, I think she maybe gave me that face, but she definitely gave me that mitochondria. You get 100% of your mitochondria. Where is my
Two.
Tostino's still in here. Hold on, let me show y'all my mom. She's in the chat right now. Tell me if I look like my mom. I think I look like my mom, and I think I look like my dad too. I could actually see both. And interestingly, my
Two.
look at me. See, look, my hair was blonde. Like my hair was blonde. Check the roots. As you can see, my dad has like a similar hair color to me, and then this is my mom. So I definitely do think I look like her. But like, you know, sometimes when I'm making the face, look how I'm looking at that photographer. I'm like, my little sister, she's a little more impressed. And look at my dad in his high school. This is my, I didn't even know my dad had a high school yearbook picture because he dropped out. My dad dropped out in 9th grade, so I didn't even know he stayed long enough. But when I tell y'all we're all cousins, look at my dad's classmates, okay? Just take a gander. This is how it is in Louisiana. So I know it's
3.
make a bunch of assumptions about things and all of that, but that's my dad right there. He stayed about long enough to take this picture, and then he dropped out of school and became an iron worker. But yeah, so this is how it is. This was Clinton High School. As you can see, it says freshman. I cut out everybody's name here on the side. I don't know if I wanted their name on it. I don't know any of these folks now, or anything like that to my knowledge. But that's my dad right there. That's him.
3, 2.
And can you believe 4 years later I was born? I mean, this is a child. What was he doing having kids? What would my mom and dad doing having kids that early? I mean, we turned out fine. Look how 90s this is. I guess this would be about in 1995. Anyway, so I wanted to show y'all that. Anyway, that's my mama. I don't know. Maybe she don't have hair like that no more. Her hair is shorter than that now. But I keep telling her. I'm looking at him like, what do you? So let me bring my little web back up. I just wanted a little moment of before we get started on this. And I might have to take a couple more moments of. It's 4 years later. I'm British and your accent is heaven to my ears. You know, they do say, shows the British cousins in the chat, y'all gotta get rid of those royals. Y'all gotta get rid of them. And I don't mean, harm them or anything, but like, have you ever seen such grifters and squatters in your life? Y'all gotta get rid of them. It's been since 1215. We've been trying to, do revolutions to not have this inbred family, no offense to them or whatever, but kind of like, maybe they shouldn't be like, I don't know, why are they're squatters. Y'all should be able to go in those places. Anyway, they do say that the accent in like the south of the United States, like the southern United States, is the closest to like the true English that the British would have been speaking, because it's slow and it's fronted and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, okay, so I personally, y'all might know this, y'all might have noticed it, you might have not noticed it. I don't focus on them royals for that exact reason. I mean, I'm not about to waste too much of my time focusing on people that my ancestors fought revolutions to not be controlled by and not pay taxes to. My ancestors fought revolutions, they died. My ancestors, some of them died trying to get out from under these people. So I am not about to spend a whole bunch of my time looking at what Prince Andrew is doing. However, he might come up today because he was, allegedly abusing children in the Epstein files, so he might come up today. Okay, linguistics major here. It is true. I mean, I think that the South has the real English, but everybody thinks it's the real English. Any linguist, and I studied linguistics too in undergrad for my minor, and then I went to grad school for linguistics. So everybody says they don't have an accent. The truth is everybody has an accent, because you wouldn't be speaking. All right, so let's go back here after our little break, and here's Britney. So you may know this, you may not, and we're just gonna start. Yeah, y'all can't even share a news article in Canada. I'm just gonna start at Britney because you know it's as good an entry point as any. Britney Spears, as y'all know, was in a conservatorship. She was in a conservatorship for more than 10 years, about 13 years ended up being, and then she did get legally released from the conservatorship. There were 2 conservators pretty much for most of the conservatorship. One was her dad. He was the conservator of her person. She had 2 conservatorships. He was the conservator of her person, and then there was another conservator, and he was the money. He was the money
over there wanting to be pet.
And he was the conservator of the estate.
No. I love you too,
estate
Mama.
conservatorship, the money conservatorship. So Britney has had 2.
She's like reaching out.
And when she got put into that conservatorship in 2008, it was after a very, 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 perhaps the most aggressive PR push I've ever seen. Remember when Britney was shaving her head? Oh, Britney's crazy. Britney's a drug addict. Britney might die. I mean, they were pushing. I believe that the media and the tabloids kind of drove Britney absolutely insane. I don't think Britney's insane, just to be clear. I think she's a perfectly normal person reacting as any normal person would to the circumstances that she has been thrust into and into the abuse that she has faced. And there was no bigger culprit that participated in the propagandization of Britney Spears' abuse and suffering than this man right here. I mean, I should put Perez Hilton because he was very close. Second, or maybe he actually was the worst. But Perez Hilton at least isn't. TMZ's not taking that seriously. However, it is. It's taken more seriously than, for example, me. People will say, "Oh, TMZ said da 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 da," but way before they'll say, "Oh, but that surprise witness said da 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 da." Nobody, I believe, did more damage to Britney's reputation allowing her to be enslaved and trafficked than this man right here. He allowed, through his company TMZ, in my opinion, Britney to be slandered, lied about, and further perpetuated her abuse. That's my opinion. So, I want to remind y'all just of one such situation because Britney Spears described it as being, I'm paraphrasing here, but she described it as being the worst ordeal of the entire conservatorship. It was back in 2019. And
have an awesome day, Billy. Sorry I missed ya.
Catalyst for what ended
Planning
up
and growing again. Yeah, I'm really
ultimately
ready
allowing
for
Britney to
it.
at least retain some freedom
I love
from
you.
this
Oh, Michelle.
conservatorship. I'm looking for my
Look, Michelle.
computer remote. Okay.
It's funny how like
So the
women
year
are like
2019,
supportive and kind,
Britney Spears had
um,
been told, and this is
and
according to her
inspired and like talk
testimony.
about their own crafts or whatever. And
Britney Spears had
men
been
are
told
just like,
that
what's
she
wrong with
could
your
take a break
face?
after her second Las Vegas residency ended.
But
She had been told,
there's
finish this
what
residency.
we've got so
You can take a
far.
break, you can go on vacation, you
So
can
it's
take a
hard
vacation,
to
finish this
see
residency.
because I intentionally picked
Well,
colors
that
that
didn't end up happening. Then
have
she
a
was
very
immediately put on tour.
similar contrast
Then she was like, just
because
finish,
I
people were
wanted
like, just finish
to
your tour.
I
Just
wanted
finish
it to
your tour,
blend in when
then
I made mistakes.
you'll be able to take
So,
a break. So it was like she had been being
you
promised
cannot
years and
see
years
just
she would be
exactly
allowed to
how
take
it
a break,
is,
and
but
she wanted and she
hello,
needed a
Tuk Tuk.
break. She was being worked like and I quote, race
But you can
horse.
see it's
She was being
like
worked like a racehorse. She
goes
wasn't
like
allowed to see her
here
kids.
and then
She
there's
wasn't allowed to decide
the
what she was
branches.
going to eat. She wasn't allowed to decide her medications. But every night, 5 nights a week, whatever it is, sometimes 2 shows a day, she was out there in Las Vegas.
This is
doing
the
rapid,
sweater that I'm
rapid,
working
she went
on.
a tour. And then, or maybe a worldwide tour, I don't exactly remember.
This is what I'm making.
They lied, and she was gonna have to actually, because she's enslaved. She doesn't really
So,
have a choice. She was then gonna actually have to do
that's
another
like about where
third
I'm at right
residency
there
called domination.
in the front middle.
So they were practicing for that third residency that she was told she wasn't gonna have to do, but then she ended up was gonna have to do it, and she's practicing for it, and they wanted her to do some dancing she didn't want to do. Now she never actually said why.
Hello, Roman.
Why
My son is doing amazing. The chickens are chickening, and the dog is sleeping.
I don't want to do that dance move. Now, say what you want about Britney Spears, but she is a dancer. She has been dancing, at least, you know, like classical dance, ballet, stuff like that, since she's like 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old. So she's a dancer. And, you know, the rumors and the word on the street is that the reason that she didn't want to do the dance move is because she had started to just not want to do all that provocative, overtly sexual. Like she had said, you know, I want to do dance.
I think so too.
Like Janet Jackson. I want to do like
yeah,
dance.
I definitely have.
Like shaking my, you know what, in my backup dancer's face. Like, you know, so I imagine that it was something like she didn't want to be doing dropping down and getting the eagle eye.
I exist on the internet.
Something else.
The demons come the fuck out. They can't stand when you mind your business.
I mean, she's the star of the show. It might have just been also, too, she had been coming off an injury. She had broken her leg or her ankle or something. And she might have also just been like, oh, that hurts. I don't want to stress my stress fracture or whatever. I don't know why she said no to the dance move, but she did. And according to Britney's court testimony, she said that when she said no to that dance move, it was like she set a BOMB off in the ring in Las Vegas over there. She said immediately the managers and the other people, a bunch of handlers and stuff, went into a side room for 45 minutes. Everybody went in the side room, but she wasn't allowed to go in there, and they were talking about her. She said it was like a boom went off in the rehearsal. She said immediately she was made to go the next day, or within a couple days, she was made to go and speak with her doctor. I don't know, maybe it was on the phone, maybe it was in person, but her psychiatrist. She said, quote, immediately put her on lithium. Now, lithium is an extraordinarily powerful, I'll say, pharmaceutical substance. I don't exactly know, it's on label, I don't exactly know it's on label. I mean, I can look it up. Lithium.
You see what I mean? Oh, she left already. I forgot. Billy left. But you see what I mean? They just can't help themselves.
Mood stabilizer for bipolar is what the AI, let me show you.
Listen, I pray that everyone at the age that I am has the freedom to do whatever they want on any given day of the week. You know what I mean? Like, I could only hope that people aspire to be as successful at life as I am. And that's just a fact.
Food and Drug Administration, this is the AI overview. Food and Drug Administration has approved lithium for use as a mood stabilizer in bipolar I disorder, treating acute manic and mixed episodes. So Britney Spears says no to a Hoochie Mama dance move, and she immediately gets put on this powerful substance. And let me just do side effects of lithium. Increased thirst, frequent urination, tremors, like shaking, nausea, diarrhea, weight gain, and fatigue. And this fatigue is a little understated. I mean, Britney said that she was on so much lithium, the dose was so high, she couldn't even speak. She couldn't even talk to her parents. She was like, I couldn't even speak. I didn't have the energy to talk. And I couldn't even tell them, like, I need to get off of this because it's messing me up. Now, if you take too high of a dosage at long term, then apparently you can also get brain damage, stuff like that. So, I gotta turn this heater off. Hold on. It's like making a squealing noise.
Are you sitting there chewing on my knitting needle again?
She's like, I immediately got put on lithium.
You friggin' there's spit on there. You bitch! Dude, I fucking really, really, really want to throttle you sometimes. I'm gonna throw you outside.
She compared it to test trafficking, and she said, I really think they were trying to kill me.
What was that?
I think they were trying to kill me. That's what she said. So, new row, switching to a new row. And under the conservatorship, and then subsequently she would post on Instagram about it after she got
2 3
legally
2
allowed
1
out
2
conservatorship
3
as a legal
1
mechanism. She would
2
post
3
inserts,
2
someone would post
1
Instagram
2
posts
3
on
1.
Brittany's Instagram, and the focus was really this this few month period in 2019 in the spring, whenever she was trying to say no to dance moves, she was trying to
Hello, Wes. Look at what I'm making.
this residency. They were kind of forcing her to do it, and she didn't want to. So she
Everybody
was
go
put in
follow
this-
Wes. He's a
in this
wonderful
place.
content
She
creator and
called it a
crafter
place. She got
and
to talk to
father
people.
and husband and overall a wonderful man. All of you should aspire to live your lives in a similar fashion. One of the most Christ-like men I've ever seen, period. Good man. So go follow Wes.
She said I had no privacy. I had no
That's right, sissy.
ability to leave. I was locked in that facility.
I'm making a, like, here, I'll show you.
Enslavement. It was.
I am making that. So I'm about right there so far. That's gonna be the end result. I did it in colors that are not, so this is obviously the contrast, light versus dark. I intentionally picked colors that are like, don't really contrast that much. Also, it matches my bedspread perfectly, but I didn't want to be able to see mistakes. And I also didn't want to have to like notice a mistake and then frog my work all the way back and then fix the mistake and go all the way back. So now if there's a mistake, I can ignore it. It won't poke my eyeballs out. And that's all there is to it. Let me show you. So this is the only second thing I've ever knit. I've never knit before. I crocheted a little bit in the past, but I'd never knit before. This is the first thing I've ever made. And there's a lot of mistakes. I didn't use a pattern. I just kind of like, it was just audacity and vibes. So I definitely made lots of mistakes. This is not supposed to be puckered here. I increased my stitches too quickly. So in 2 rows, I doubled my stitches instead of doubling my stitches over the course of like 12 rows or more. So it's puckering in this spot, but that's okay. I didn't really think I was going to wear it or anything. I just wanted to do it, I wanted to get the act finished. So I watched a video. I learned how to do the ribbing and how to cast on the needles. Then I watched a video on how to do the yoke and how to increase stitches and how to separate for the sleeves and how to make the sleeves and how to do the body and how to do the end and cast off the needles and stuff. So I just watched videos as I went. This is the first time that I have ever used a pattern, and with knitting it's different. The pattern it's not written out. Instead of being written out, it is just like there's written out parts to the pattern, but the pattern just looks like this. It's just a grid, and you just, 3 of that one, 1 of that one, 3 of that one, 1 of that one, 3 of that one, yada yada. So you'll hear me count singing to myself a lot. And now I'm at, I think this one, 2, no, even more. 2 3 2 1. Yep, so I'm here now. 3 3 1 1 1. Okay, I think that's where I'm at. I gotta find where I'm at. Oh, but anyways, it keeps me sane. Yeah, the lady, Wes, actually, the lady in the store, in the knitting store where I bought this yarn, she told me that I was a knitting savant and a knitting genius because that's my first thing that I've ever made. And like, I think it's funny and I'm grateful that she said that and whatever, but I'm trying not to like really, truly like let that sink into my brain and fill my head and make me big-headed, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, this does come easily to me. But is it because I've been doing dreadlocks for 20 years? Is it because I already know how to do crochet? Is it because, I've kind of already had such a fascination with fiber art in general that, it was easy for me to transition to knitting from all of the different places, my knowledge. So like, I don't know if I'm necessarily like some knitting savant, but I did pick it up really quickly. We'll see. It's hard to catch up to the people who've been knitting for a long time because they have muscle memory. And I'm trying to teach myself something that I've never done, even with crochet. I've never used 2 colors before. I've never used 2 separate strands of color. I've only ever done like a color change yarn, or I do it all in one color. Like I don't really do switching colors. I don't know why, I just didn't really want to. So this is the first time I've ever worked with more than one color, and it's the first time that I'm having to, you know, I'm holding 2 strands of thread. So you have to teach your hand how to do that. It's been a learning curve, but that's what I want. That feeling of like, I chase that sensation of, oh, okay, I get it, and then doing it. Like that moment specifically is like what I'm always chasing. That's my high, that's my thing. That's what motivates me, is I want to have that like aha moment. It's my favorite. Cumulative skills, exactly. I was able to take my cumulative skills and then apply them, you know. It's kind of how like I started doing outdoor work and other outside like construction-y things when I was house painting. I already kind of had a general idea of how to do it because I've painted recreationally, you know what I mean? So yeah, all my cumulative skills came together to put me in a situation where knitting came relatively easy. I also want to give myself the benefit of the doubt that knitting is actually extremely advanced, and people who do crochet do not necessarily know how to knit. I know a lot of people who crochet who literally cannot knit. They've tried, can't do it, their brains just won't let them do it, their hands, whatever. So for the fact that I am doing stranded color work on a Scandinavian yoke sweater as my second thing I've ever made is actually really truly an accomplishment, because the project that I'm doing is an advanced project that pretty much like people who've already made 1,000 handkerchiefs, 1,000 scarves, 1,000 hats, 1,000 mittens, then they make the sweater, you know. But I am just a person, I'm literally like this at the pool. I walk straight to the deep end and I jump in. That's what I like to do. That's what keeps me entertained. And otherwise I'd be bored and miserable. I tried to knit. I tried twice to take up knitting previously. So I did what everybody says to do, knit a triangle, you know, and I got like maybe 10 or 12 rows in and I was like, boring. Not for me. I need a challenge. I gotta get some water too. My mouth is like fucking stuck together. I will say, like, something that challenges me is playing music. I do really struggle with that. I can't play music very well. I would love to be able to play the guitar or play the violin or be like a concerto pianist, but it's just not in the cards for me, you know. Mary, thank you so much. Knitting is pretty intimidating. Thank you, sissy. I haven't seen you here in a long time. Dude, John, you are the 5th person who has said that today. I've had 5 people come into my chat today saying, I haven't seen you in like a year. And I was just saying something earlier. Something happened with the algorithm. On the day that we signed over the new TikTok thing, when the data transfer, when everyone's getting 0 views, after that happened, all of a sudden, all of my social media started to pop off again. This is the most people I have consistently had in my YouTube in almost a year. I went from having 600 people in my chat at any given time. Like, there was always either 300 to 600 people in my YouTube. It was a lot. I had to have so many mods. Anyway, one day I woke up and it stopped. I woke up and I had like no views on no viewers, no nothing. And it stayed like dead until like 3 days ago. And now there's like 20, 30, 40, usually there's 3, In the last year, it's been very, very hard. The algorithm had just completely throttled me across platforms. But something happened with the sale and the transfer of data or whatever it was that happened has put me into a different algorithm on all my platforms. TikTok is I was getting like 200 views per video for a minute there. I went from getting like 150,000 views per video. You know what I mean? So like, it's just like really fucking crazy how I was getting hundreds of thousands of TikTok engagements to hundreds of like the month that my YouTube like disappeared on me or whatever, I had 3.5 million engagements, like likes, comments, all the things together on YouTube. 3.5 million for the month of July 2024. I woke up August 1st, 2024, and it was done. It went, my content, literally, I looked it up on the analytics, it did a nosedive of like 3,000%. It was crazy. Am I doing a food review? Well, of course I am. Don't you see all the food around me? It's weird that the bots are asking that. Oh, thanks, Hot Rod. My favorite Rod person, R-O-D, capital R. Let's get to it. We have to start a new row and it's confusing, but we can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I'm right there. Two, 2, 2, 2, 3. Two, 3, 2, 2, 1. Okay, that's where I'm at. So I'm at 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yes. So. Two, 3, 2.
Slavery. She had no access to her money. She said no cash, no car keys.
This is Suki.
I couldn't drive. The these nurses were trying to basically keep me from all the time. She said,
Hello, my love. I see you're here.
during that same time, right, in the spring of 2019, somebody called a podcast. There was a podcast going on that was like, "Where's Brittany?" With Tess and Babs. They were like, "Where is she? We haven't actually seen anything from her. We haven't seen any paparazzi pictures. It's been months since we've seen. Where is she, Dad? Where is she?" This was in 2019. Well, that podcast gets a call.
Two,
It's a
two.
voicemail from some
2, 3, 2, 1.
quasi-anonymous person who said,
Two.
"I am paralegal at a law firm who works with Brittany's conservators."
3.
I think maybe
1.
Andrew Wallet. I don't exactly remember whose law firm he said he worked at. He was like, "I'm a paralegal at the law firm, and Britney Spears right now is being held against her will in a treatment center. Treatment for what?
2.
For saying no to a dance move, not for being on drugs." And here's the thing too:
3.
what if she was being treated for like a serious drug addiction? How on earth? These people, these conservators, were supposed to be protecting her. That was one of the reasons they tried to say,
have
"Oh,
a
she's
little-
doing all these drugs." And
I
she's
do.
continuing to be in control
She's
of
sitting
her."
on my
So
feet.
she's
I'm
still
actually
not
sitting on
gotten
a
messed up on drugs.
my,
That's their fault.
meditation stool.
She wasn't on drugs. She was saying no to dance moves.
2,
So this
3.
paralegal calls the podcast and says, "Look, she's being held against her will. She's in a place. She's not allowed to leave. She can't see her kids. She probably wants to leave, and she's been there for months." So during all of that, and Brittany said again, this is of all 13 years, over 10 years. in a
2,
conservatorship.
3,
She
2,
describes
1.
that ordeal
2,
in the
3,
2019
1,
thing as the worst. She
2.
said, "I think they were trying to actually kill me because I was not cooperating with them." Well, guess who got exclusive
1,
after exclusive after exclusive,
2.
making Brittany seem like she was just in there because she wanted to be. Making it seem like Brittany wasn't in there because she wasn't able to be a controlled slave anymore. Making it seem like there were other reasons. Well, let's follow the arrow.
Seriously, guys, make sure that you go to Wes's page and follow him. If you like the stuff that I do, you'll fucking really like him for real, because he is like doing all of the like stuff consistently as a man
So
in his workshop.
let's just take a look at two such articles.
So please, please, please
Not
make
so-
sure
well,
you take a
real
moment
quick.
and go
So
follow
here
Wes.
is
What did I do?
What would you call this? Like an aerial view.
How did I do
of
that?
the place. So when you call something a treatment center, it seems like, you know, it's in a hospital or something. No, ma'am. This was in a residential neighborhood in Beverly Hills, and not only just any residential neighborhood, but right across the freaking street
From
the
Diddy's
former
house.
Ticketmaster, Irving Azov. Okay, so not only that, but also right down 0.4 miles, 1 minute by car, 10-minute walk to
Okay.
Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs' home that was raided by the feds.
What
2
did you
years
do?
ago, Okay.
Okay,
Now, also
2,
in this same neighborhood
3.
is the Playboy Mansion. I don't know which house it is, but I do need to update my graphic to also put that here.
2, 3,
So
2.
This is the recovery center, right? It's not a hospital.
2, 3, 2.
It's a recovery center, but it's like it's somebody's mansion.
1.
It's just, you know, it's somebody's mansion in P Diddy's neighborhood. And as you can see, I mean, these
2,
are huge
3,
houses. Look at
2,
Irving Azov's
1.
house. It's
2,
Let
1,
me just make
3.
sure Irving Azov is that guy's name, because I don't want to. I said his name wrong one time.
2.
Ticketmaster. Yeah, that's him.
1.
No, I'm not saying he had anything to do with it. I want to be very clear. This is just where this is Bridges to Recovery. This is the place where
3.
Brittany was staying. This is the inside of the room. She did record and upload videos. She recorded and uploaded videos from inside this very room. She was standing right about here. Her back was facing here. Y'all remember it? And in it, it was whenever the conspiracy theories started kicking up that Brittany was being held against her will. It was like
Wear a
the White
yellow
House was
shirt.
saying, you know, people were saying, "Where's Brittany? Where's Brittany?"
Wear a yellow shirt
She's
if
not
you're
in
being
bed,
held
she's
against
being
your will, and then
held
she
against
like
her
wears
will.
a
This
yellow
is when it
shirt.
all really started kicking up.
Yeah, he does, but he's with his dad mostly right now. Not starting next week, it's changing though.
Hold her phone up. Hi, everybody. I just
Um,
want to let you know.
Actually, I just talked to Josh about it this morning, and I was like, you know, I cannot be away from my child this much. I feel like I'm taking a back seat you know, in parenting, and I'm starting to get like edged out where like I feel not only like it feels like my input isn't wanted or needed, and so like I should just, you know, and so I told Josh, and I was like, listen, it's not your fault that this has happened, it's totally just circumstance, and I'm not blaming you. I'm saying this is how I feel, and so we need to make changes immediately to something. And because I can't go on feeling like this, and, you know, whatever. So starting next week, I told Josh and Elliot both, I was like, you know, we're all sick, shit's kind of whatever, so we'll give it until next week. Starting this coming weekend, you're coming back home, like 50-50. And at the very least until Aurora gets back. And then once that happens, then everything else will be different. But, you know, I've got people that are like, you know, in other states right now and shit like that. So once all of that starts to come back and shit starts to like, I get busy for the summer, then we can worry about him being at his dad's whatever. But I have to figure it out, and I have to make it work. Even though I'm broke, I have to figure it out. You know, his life is going, it's just whoosh. Life is passing by me, and I'm just sitting here knitting, you know, and like I'm not with my son, and I don't care if like we're not doing anything and I could be sitting anywhere knitting, but I want to be sitting with my kid. I want my son to be sitting next to me at least half the time. Excuse you, ma'am. I have like a bad sinus pressure headache. Those are some serious fucking talons you got there. I'm just seeing if you're gonna let me. I think I'm gonna try and cut her nails a little, because that is a bit much. She's just a little baby. She needs the burp. She's just wrapping the baby. She's just wrapping the baby. She's just giving the baby a brap. Yeah, just giving the baby a brap. Just a wee little brap. Yes, ma'am. Just a wee little brap. She's gonna fuck me up here in a minute. It's coming. She's literally like holding it with like the tip of her nail. She's doing the Scar thing, you know, that Scar does in The Lion King, with the little mouse and with the bird. Hey, that's my fucking leg that you're biting there. Pinch your butt, 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 Pinchy butt, pinchy butt, pinchy butt, pinchy butt. Ow, Suki. What you bite here is like actually the meat of my leg. That's my leg. Your teeth are sharp. It goes right through the fabric. She's purring away right now. I wish that she would just sit and crochet with me. She's a fucking nightmare though. She's destroyed the thing on this. It's only taken a couple of days for her to do that. But I had to move it, my string. She'll also go for the electrical cords. Anything that she can. What is she chewing on right now? What are you chewing on? I know the oh, at least she went for that. Good girl. She knows that she can get away with fucking with my drawstrings more than she could get away with fucking with my knitting. She knows. She 1000% knows. She wanted some TREATS or some wet FOOD, so she came out, she saw the little loop right here sticking up out of this, and she just got, she knows. She goes right for the things. The same as my other cat. Her mother chooses to go to electrical wires and that she will not actually chew them. She'll walk over to them and meow, meow, to get my attention. And she'll pretend to bite it until I see her. And then as soon as I look at her, she'll go. But she won't actually bite it until I look at her. So she knows what she's doing. It's not just, oh, it's something like string, it's dangly. They don't know the difference. Yes, they do. They can also sense the electricity. Damn, dude, I got a bad headache brewing. When I strain like that, it causes pain. Damn, there's like a big old knot sticking off my head right here. Yo, ow, what the fuck is this giant knot doing there? The fuck, dude? I have a fucking big lump on the side of my head. Depop. Pretty sure it's a muscle. I'm pretty sure it's not under the bone. Good God. I have a fucking giant knot on the side of my head and or a tumor in my brain. I'm pretty sure it's a muscle. But like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is muscle. Holy shit, dude! This whole muscle right here is like a lump. I think I must have been grinding my teeth in my sleep or something. That helped a lot. I need like a cranium massage apparently. No, the bump is just like there. I couldn't tell if the bump is squishy or if like the muscle squishes and then the bump is there. I was trying to determine, but the muscle is literally so fucking hard that it hurts too much to push into it as hard as I really would need to, but it's definitely a muscle. It's definitely a knot. It's a huge fucking knot right here. And it's shaped like, kind of like, there's like a straight rectangular piece like right here almost, and then it goes around. So it's round and then like a little bit right here. Bottom of it right here. And then it comes up to right here. So from there to there. And from there to there. This whole area is just one, it's a fucking knot. I've got things. I just gotta find them. All right. FYI, usually with homeless people, blight. Yeah, that sounds about right. See how your nicknames are always like so apropos of like what you're doing? You like show up and act like a troll and like you're like the town visitor, which is also a blight town. Yeah, so yeah, it makes sense. Very apropos. But yeah, homeless people usually don't sit in their beds. I don't know if you've seen many homeless people, but usually they don't have a bed like this. So, are you a millionaire, Mom 17? If you make more than $12,000 a year, then yeah, probably. I'm poor to you. Two, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. 2. Three, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1. Yeah, exactly. Because your mom said not to. I prefer, the reason that I don't live in a house is because I don't want to pay electric and rent or mortgage. I don't want to have to pay for water. I don't want to have to pay for, all those things that are things that we just need in order to survive at this rate. I don't think those things should be paid for. I think it's stupid. My life is transitioning more into a electric life than it once was. But I just personally prefer having freedom over being a slave. Oh, that was weird. Suki. Ah. Leave her alone. Two. It's 3, Heather. 2, 3. 2, 3, 2. 1. 2. 3. or 2? 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1. Yeah. 2, 3, 2. 1, 2. It's not a flow my brain likes to commit to memory. 2. 3. 2, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. 'Nobody took away your comment. Nobody cares. Matt Damon. Yeah, thankfully. Thankfully, he's not that kind of a kid. And also, if you get gum in your hair, it's really not that big of a deal. All you have to do is break down the latex with an oil-based product. Peanut butter works, you know, historically, but really what works is baby oil, mineral oil, olive oil, anything oil. It'll work just fine. Dang, Wes, I can't believe you're still hanging out here. You're the big time now, man. You're like a big time comment creator these days, man. You're gonna be going to the TikTok awards next year, I bet you anything. Y'all, mark my words, Wes will end up going to the TikTok or whatever the content creator awards. Watch, mark my words. I knew when I first saw his content, I could tell the minute I saw him, I was like, this guy is going to be very successful at this. He's got the thing that makes entertaining, you know. I'm just a person who is fascinating to watch, more like kind of like train wreck, but like you actually make content that is educational, informational. I genuinely want nothing but the best for you, and I just really am proud of you and excited that I get to watch the whole thing go and happen. Thank you so much, Brooke. Okay, this thing is kind of hard to remember, so I'm going to try and get in the zone for... Oops, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay.
All is well. I just needed to take
I got to
some time
concentrate
to
for a little
chill.
bit, guys, so I'll be back in like 15 minutes.
Say that was a lie. She said, Your Honor, I lied. That was a lie. I wasn't okay. They forced me to make that video. They made me make that video. These people forced me to make that video in the Bridges to Recovery Center in this very bedroom. She was standing somewhere right around here. Okay? So this is somebody's freaking house. This is somebody's mansion that they're calling a recovery center to keep famous people. Now, they finally did let her out. Here it is right here. She don't look good. It looks like they've been drugging her on lithium, just like she said. I mean, the pictures do. She's been in a rehab. She's been in a recovery center for months. Shouldn't she look better coming out? This is what she looked like. All from saying no to a dance move. All right? Who was primarily behind spreading the propaganda that she needed to be in there was TMZ. There were others, The Blast, Daily Mail, others. So let's check this one out right here. Britney Spears checks into mental health facility, distraught over dad. This just makes me so mad. Here's the article.
2, 3, 2.
Exclusive, okay? So Harvey Levin or someone over there at TMZ is in exclusive contact with somebody who's spreading propaganda saying Britney needs to be a slave. Britney checks into mental health facility. What it should say is Britney was checked into, right? Because she didn't even have the legal authority to enter into treatment, really. Somebody else had to do that for her. Who?
2, 3, 2,
Her
1,
dad.
2.
He was the only person with the legal right to enter into a contract for Britney Spears. Now, Ticketmaster, don't forget, might have something to do with Live Nation. We'll get to that on the web.
3.
Britney Spears has been admitted into a mental health facility. TMZ has learned. Let me turn it on reader view. Sources connected to Britney tell TMZ she has been distraught over her dad's illness. Something we're told is quite serious and not getting better. Okay, what really had happened was Jamie Spears was sick and he couldn't do his slave owner duties as well as he could before. Britney was also starting to say no to dance moves. They already kept everything from her that they could. Her kids, her freedom, her money. So what's there to lose now? No, not doing that dance move. Well, it got a lot worse. They started drugging her. And I think that's when Britney started to say no. The exclusive TMZ article goes on. Jamie Spears has now had 2 surgeries to correct major issues with his intestines and colon. Somebody said they busted wide open from drug use, but I don't know if that's true. The second surgery was recent, but he's been suffering complications. His issues started late last year after his colon ruptured. And God don't like ugly, I'll just leave it at that. As you know, Brittany put her Vegas residency on hold to care for her dad. That made no sense to anybody even at the time 6 years ago, and it still makes even no sense today. Britney Spears' dad is supposed to be caring for her. She's too sick to even care for herself. So how in the hell can she take care of her dad? It was all just freaking lies. They were lying to us. They were lying to us.
Wait, no.
They were saying she was caring for her dad, but he's the conservator of the person. That's the opposite.
2,
At the very least, she needs out of this conservatorship if she can care for someone else, right? It's because it was a lie. It was because she said no to a dance move, and the powers that be wanted to continue making millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars off of her
2,
in Las Vegas. That's what it was. That was the truth. But TMZ's not telling the truth.
3.
Now, are they not telling the truth on purpose? I don't know. Maybe that's really what they were told, really what they thought. She's been having a really hard time. Brittany posted a photo with the words, fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, along with the caption, we all need to take a little time for a little me time. Other sources say Brittany checked herself into the facility, which she legally was not allowed to do. So she couldn't legally do anything. She couldn't legally do anything. And then even the stuff she was legally allowed to do, she couldn't actually do because she was a slave. She was enslaved. She couldn't even decide which shoes she wanted to wear. She couldn't decide.
Yay! Oh my God, thank God.
She couldn't decide.
Dude, they multiply so fast. That's my number one stress about having cats is how quickly, you know, they multiply and how difficult it is to get them all fixed.
She had no authority to do that. And then legally, she was not legally allowed to enter into contracts because the judge stole. A court, stole that right away from her. This is slavery. They said she checked in about a week ago, but I think I ran the timeline and that's just not true. She checked in like January or February. She was checked in and she was in there for months. In November, she announced the Las Vegas show would be put on ice to deal with her dad's health issues, saying a couple months ago, my dad was hospitalized and almost died. We're also grateful that he came out of it alive, but he still has a long road ahead of him. I had to make the difficult decision to put my full focus and energy on my family at this time. As TMZ reported, Brittany has been under a conservatorship since 2008. For what? For nothing. But TMZ didn't bother to either look into it, or maybe they did look into it. That would be even worse. I mean, Harvey Levin is a lawyer. Don't forget. He is a lawyer. But it doesn't appear to me as though Harvey Levin went and looked at those legal filings, which were public. I was just a law student. I hadn't even passed the bar exam yet. I was able to look at those documents and tell that Britney Spears was in an unconstitutional conservatorship. They never
Of course the
provided
sun's going to go away the
That's like,
second
okay,
I turn
if
the
somebody
heat
that don't
down.
like you can go over to the court and say, oh, he has dementia, I'm going to give you proof later, and then never does, and now you're a slave. That's what happened. That is what happened. It's in the documents. But TMZ isn't reporting what happened. They're reporting fake lies. They're reporting lies. Issues related to her mental health, no. It wasn't related to her mental health. It was related to control. It was related to the fact that all of her childhood, ever since the Mickey Mouse Club and the Star Search, she's been able to be controlled. But when she turned 18 and then 21 and then 24 and she had her own kids, she started saying no to stuff. She started where the money changers with no talent could get it in a trust. Well, guess what? After about 10 years of trying, they finally wrangled that trust out.
Don't mind me just fixing my pad.
Still alive, fingers.
Just grabbing my crotch.
She was declared dead. So
Trying to sit on my pad so that I don't bleed all over myself.
Wasn't controllable, and they had to make her controllable.
I like to live on the edge and
As
wear
for her
white.
dad's illness, he saved Britney's life, they said, by making her into a slave. Okay.
Focus.
So that's the type of stuff Harvey Levin over there at TMZ was posting. There's one more article I want to show y'all. This one was from all the way back in 2007. Britney claims her rehab was bogus. This is from 2007, the year before the conservatorship. That's her mom. I guess that's Kevin Federline, and then that's Larry Rudolph. Britney feels totally betrayed by her mom, her soon-to-be ex-husband, and her former manager, and promises the rehab that she called home for nearly a month. She claims she never had a drug or alcohol problem, but was railroaded into rehab. So this happened to her for years. Sources say Britney Spears could not withstand the pressure from her mom, Kevin Federline, and Larry Rudolph. She checked into promises in February. We're told the professionals believe she suffered from postpartum depression, made worse because she stopped taking Prozac. She was also emotionally crumbling because of her divorce and intense media scrutiny. Well, who was doing the intense media scrutiny? TMZ. TMZ, they were following her around with cameras. X17, Perez Hilton. Okay, so just wanted to give y'all a little bit of that backstory on Britney Spears. And now let's go over to Harvey Levin is in the Epstein files. Okay. All right. This is one of the emails that I saw yesterday. Now, this is in 2011. A theme that I saw in the Epstein files is that Jeffrey Epstein spent a lot of energy, at least from the ones that they did release to us. It appears as though Jeffrey Epstein and his close circle of confidants and his team and, you know, people like that were always kind of a little bit focused on what to say in the media about things. He did have many crisis managers and PR firm type of people in these emails. He was having dinner with them. He was having, you know, meetings with them, things like that. And one such individual who was featured here, okay, is this about Epstein or Britney? I'm a little confused. Maybe it's because I just got here. Yes, you definitely need to work out home training in somebody's live chat. Y'all gotta stop coming into somebody's live chat and then being like, I'm confused. Like, that's kind of like the mashed potato frontal lobe shit you keep to your motherfucking self until you actually figure out what the hell is going on, Miss T. And it might be about Britney. If I want to spend the next 6 hours of my day talking about Britney, I might. The spawn of Satan. I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but he looks like an evil villain. I've never heard
yes.
this man's name. I've never heard of him in my freaking life until yesterday. But just looking at the man, he looks possessed. I don't know. I mean, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. The man looks evil.
I'll try to position the camera differently, but people don't really care. You're like the only one who actually has cared at all. So I don't really get very many actual crafters. This is the first time I've ever done color work before. This is the test. This is the test to see if I could do it. And now I'm doing color work. This is a color change yarn, so I didn't do that. But it was my first test at knitting, so I can apparently knit. So now I'm practicing trying color work. I'm trying out a pattern for a Fair Island knit sweater.
Well, this was an international club and an international ring in every way. This wasn't just the United States. This wasn't just the UK. This wasn't just the royals in Britain. There's royals in Sweden. There's royals in Norway. It's almost like how many generations of first cousin babies you gotta have to be called a royal? That's what I want to know. Anyway, this man wrote an email to Jeffrey Epstein in 2011. He said, tried to call you. Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, is a good friend. So who's the good friend? This man right here. He's good friends. One of the practitioners of the dark arts, of public relations, internationally renowned. Tried to call you. This is interesting. This is Zuckerman. I'm going to have to do a whole side video on more Zuckerman. Harvey Levin is a good friend. They haven't reported on this at all. But I might be able to get him to do something on the Duchess and her backpedaling. It appears as though so March 9th, 9:30. It's cut off here, but it's basically Jeffrey Epstein. This is where it starts here, right? Harvey Levin is emailing this around. Excuse me, not Harvey Levin.
Oh, what did he do?
Legal girls, which I think was a misnomer because then Megan Kelly said it was 15-year-olds, which is not legal. That's illegal.
Oh, he's actually
So that's not
all right.
He wasn't typing.
Look at that.
His friend right here
So
definitely felt comfortable
it's
enough to
set
say,
perfectly out of my way.
oh look, all of this is for people. It's for us. So I just want to know, a lot of y'all are hearts, this heart thing has been like the people in charge, the elite, the rich and powerful, they're look what they're doing. They don't have as much power as what your peers should tell you, girl, because if they did, they wouldn't be trying to spin PR all the way up.
Let me know if I'm like,
Nearly 50, it's 15 years ago. And look, Jeffrey Epstein's like, look, this is what Mort Zuckerman suggested. Short, punchy, don't attack the press. Say that I pled guilty to solicitation, but it's not PDF-philia. Yeah, well, that's Megyn Kelly. That's what Megyn Kelly and Nick Fuentes just said. It's not really PDF-philia. Almost as if Jeffrey Epstein's talking points from 2011 are still alive and well on YouTube. Isn't that amazing? Also, pointing out that no allegations of minors since 2005, 6 years ago. Well, if he shot somebody point blank in the head and killed him 5 years ago, then you haven't done that recently, and then it's probably okay. I mean,
let me
that's
move
what
this up.
It's not media tabloid exaggeration of PDF-philia. No allegations of minors since 2005. And then he said,
I need to be able to see the comments.
To the London press, how absurd the Duchess is being by saying what she's saying. So apparently something at the time, again, I'm not looking into these inbred freaks. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I'm only going to be going off of what is on his email right here for the purposes of this, because we got other people and other characters to get to, but
Let me look and
this
see
is Jeffrey Epstein.
how that looks.
Or at least
Oh, is that right? It says that I'm not live right now. Okay. Can you guys see okay? Will you let me know if it's like in focus or like everything is good? Because this is actually pretty good for me. I might pop on TikTok on my other thing while I'm doing this. Two, 1, 2. Where am I? 100%. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. No, yes. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, 2.
All right, this is Jeffrey freaking Epstein. This is what Mortimer Zuckerman suggested. Mike Strickland, not Strickland, Mike Citrick, the dark arts practitioner, says, okay with leaking to British press, but I think we need to get a statement out. So they're going back and forth. What's the move? Jeffrey Epstein says, okay, all right, we will, but I want to wait for the right time. So I'll do a statement. I don't want to do it yet. Okay, fine. Then Mort comes back and, I'm getting all their names mixed up. Then Michael Citrick, the dark arts practitioner, PR, internationally renowned, he comes back and says, all right, wait for the right time. Okay, fine. But I could probably get Harvey Levin to run the thing about the Duchess. He hasn't really posted anything about this as of yet, but they haven't reported on it, but I could probably get him to. Okay. Do you see how it works? Are you starting to see in black and white how it works? Somebody is a good friend of Harvey Levin. They want to do a favor. This whole world runs on back scratches. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Hey, you need to get a statement out, Jeffrey Epstein. Convicted PDF file. You need to get a statement out. Okay, I'll do it maybe at the right time. Okay, but listen, Jeff, I got a good friend, Harvey. I might be able to get him to do something for you to save your reputation. I might be able to get him to do something for you. But then you gotta wonder, what's Jeffrey Epstein gonna have to do for this guy later on? I mean, maybe nothing. Maybe he's just such a good friend. He's such a sweet angel that he's just helping all his friends out for free for nothing in return. I don't know. But it does, speaking of Britney Spears, remind me of this here email that we already read. Same back scratching. Hey, Jeffrey, I'll be able to get Britney Spears project. Hey, look at the last thing he writes. Be well, don't your spine, your literal back. So over here, we have this dark arts practitioner of public relations. We're the same thing. I'll ask my good friend if he'll do a story. Now, am I saying that means Harvey Levin did that particular story? No. But what I am saying is it's starting to give me a good idea all the way even back in 2011 how this freaking world worked. You don't have to be on the island. You don't have to be on the island. You don't have to have done, you could have been on the island. You don't have to have done anything on the island. You don't have to be on a plane. You don't have to have touched a child. You don't have to have touched a woman. You don't have to. Are you calling in favors from your good friend to make it look like this literal PDF file? I wish I could speak, what I want to speak, but this video's going to get took down or, what's the word I'm looking for? Like restricted from showing up on people's things. So I'm trying to follow the rules, and I do want to follow the rules. Thank you so much to Atanazi for the 129 SEK. Thank you so much to AONTM for the $20 Super Chat Sunday Brunch Fund. I'm gonna need a mimosa for this. Seriously. Mimosa would be nice right now. Thank you for the $20. Thank you on Psyche becoming a new member. Thank you so much to DD for being a member for 18 months. DD Phone Home, love you and your work. Thank you so much, love you, Nina. Thank you, Heather. Thank y'all for these super chats. It's really gonna help when this video gets yellowed or red dollar sign. Thank you for the $30, Heather. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Brooklyn Pencil, for the $1.99 super chat. I'm sure he's giving creepy, crusty little warlock. For sure, he's giving creepy, crusty little warlock. He looks like Alistair, probably, doesn't he? Thank you, Meeks, for the $9.99 super sticker, and thank you again to Oh My Lord for the $10 super chat. Cheers for teaching blah blah blahs a thing about manners. I mean, seriously, people need to learn how to act, and if it's not people in spots, they gotta learn too. Thank you so much for that $10. So to me, yes, amen. Woo, there it is. You're doing that Faustian bargain. Did anybody ever watch that show, Once Upon a Time, or it's called Once Upon a Time, right? It's got Storybrooke and all that, and they have this character in there, Rumpelstiltskin, and if you make a deal with him, if you take a loan from him, he does a favor for you, you owe him a favor back, and if you don't do that favor back, then calamity ensues. I think that's a good kind of archetype or like a vision of what this world is like. You might be able to get your funding for your lab. You might be able to get, this thing or that thing, but you're going to have to pay the piper eventually. And it does, I believe, extend all the way up to the famous people. You might be able to become number one on the charts, but at what cost? And to what extent are you going to be paying back for that? What's it worth?
Yup.
What's it really worth? Is it worth literally your freedom? Literally your life? Because some people have to pay.
Looks like you're doing a lovely job. Thank you so much.
Live their life. That's my okay. Now, that applies, of course, to adults. I think there's some people who get into this when they're children. Britney Spears didn't ever really have the choice, meaningfully, definitely not legally, to enter into most of the contracts that she was entered into. She started out on Star Search. She wouldn't have been able to sign those contracts for appearances. She went to the Mickey Mouse Club. She wouldn't have been able to legally sign those contracts. She went on tour at 16 years old. She wouldn't have been able to legally sign for that, for making an album. She wouldn't have been able to legally sign a record deal when she was 16 years old. Her parents would have had to. So I think, it's different in my opinion when somebody gets into it at such a young age that they're not even legally, truly allowed to enter into these contracts. And with Britney especially, once she was in her early 20s, she tried to get out. She didn't want these people managing her. She fired Larry Rudolph. She called Lou Taylor a crazy lady. She didn't want these people in her stuff, in her business, in her money. She wanted to have her kids and be at her house with her kids. So to me, like when it's a Britney Spears type of situation, Justin Bieber, stuff like that, Michael Jackson, all the Jackson children, it's different than whenever you sign your first contract when you're 18. Hold on, I need to hide someone with no home training in this chat. Oh my god. Y'all, you gotta get out of here.
No home training.
Oh my god. The
I'm curious, what are we listening to? That surprise witness on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah, they tweeted one time she was dead. I did do a
It's a live stream. I'm watching a live stream,
So,
but
yeah,
this
seriously, I mean, a lot of
from
people are
earlier,
shaking their heads.
so it's not active right now, I don't think.
Yeah, they've deluded themselves into thinking we are peons, but it screams insecure and miserable. Yeah, I mean, and they have operated in these disgusting and sick worlds and these echo chambers for so long that a lot of stuff they think is normal and fine, they try to make us think it's normal and fine. It's just simply not. And I'm holding the line, and I say that a lot. So, Harvey Levin, I'm not saying he did something wrong. I don't even know if he ever ran this article.
Okay.
Please let me know.
Well, what
I don't know
all
if Michael Citrick ever did reach
she's
out.
saying is, interesting enough. I'm curious to hear more. Yeah, that surprise witness on YouTube. She's one of the people who single-handedly helped Britney Spears get free. Like, she was truly the leader.
Whole entire machine operates.
But Britney Spears still isn't free, but, she's the one who brought attention to everything. And she's a lawyer, so she's very opinionated. It's hard to listen to her sometimes because she's very opinionated. She's very full of herself. But she kind of should be proud of, she is all the things she says she is. She might be big-headed and talk a lot, big game, but she actually delivers. So if she annoys you because, she's so full of herself, just hang tight or just fast forward past it. Because the information she gives is so good. It's worth it. It's like listening to Candace Owens.
Did I come across the second document for these two?
Hard to listen to them, but
Unfortunately, I can't.
the information is good, so worth it at the end of the day.
So I might have to,
I cannot tell what's on camera.
But yesterday, last night, Rabbit, I don't know, she may have a lot now, but last night Rabbit was saying.
That's where it's comfortable, so.
She was saying, why hasn't TMZ run a little exclusive on the fact that Harvey Levin is in the Epstein files? And it's true, but there was other people in TMZ also. Anytime somebody farts in the wrong direction over there on the David or the Nick Reiner case, Harvey Levin is up there with his eyes half open trying to tell you what's going on in jail. Oh, I heard that, Nick Reiner's in jail. He's out of his head. Okay. All right. I heard that people in the David camp are scrambling or this and that. I heard he might get a plea deal, this and that. Anytime somebody farts in the wrong direction over there, Harvey Levin is live about it. Or one of his little minions with British accents. No offense to the British people in chat, but I don't know why he can't get Americans to work on the show. About all this American stuff, but Jay-Z was mentioned in these files. Alex Spear was mentioned in these files. The thing that TMZ is reporting on with the Epstein files, last I checked, was stuff related to Donald Trump, which I'm not trying to protect that man either. If Donald Trump did something, put him under the freaking jail too. If he did it, I think we should have death penalty now for pedophiles. We got to get rid of these people. We got to do it in a legal way, and I think we need to amend the Constitution where we just kill them. I mean, we cannot have people abusing kids and thinking it's okay, and then running PR campaigns where the PR campaign people think it's okay enough to protect them. If your God is money over, protecting children and the sanctity of children's innocence, then you got to die. I mean, if y'all don't make me president, because I'm shutting down the CIA entirely. I'm cutting off this APAC thing's getting cut off. They're not going to be allowed to lobby. And we're doing death penalty for pedophiles. So if you don't want those things to happen, don't make me the president, okay? Anyway. I wanted to show y'all, though, why isn't it the case that TMZ is reporting on Jay-Z? I'm not saying they shouldn't report on Trump or Elon Musk. They should. They should. But not Jay-Z, not Alex Spira. That's interesting. I can see why they wouldn't report on Harvey Levin. I mean, it is biased, but okay. What about everybody else? What about everybody else besides Donald Trump and Elon Musk? it just starts to make you see, and we already knew this, it's not news, like, oh, Harvey Levin and TMZ are biased. We knew that. That's obvious. But when you see stuff in writing like this, I might be able to get him to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you see stuff in writing like this, I might be able to get, the guy at Universal Music, who's in charge of Britney Spears' publishing, I might be able to get him to do something while Britney's in a conservatorship. And then you see over here, these articles by TMZ are being run with lies, and an obvious slant against a victim who called herself a victim of S-trafficking. TMZ is directly responsible, and so is CNN, Chloe Maylaz. Directly responsible for running propaganda, black hat propaganda, lies to the public to make us think all is well. Britney Spears was threatened and forced to make a video saying all is well. Look how she came up out of that place. Does it look like all is well? Does it look like she's been getting treated well? Yeah, it looks like she's drugged. Look how he's holding her. That's her ex-husband. Does it look like she's been getting treated well? Yeah, it looks like she's drugged. Look how he's holding her. That's her ex-husband. Look how close she was to the powers that be. Hello? Now, there was something else in the files about Britney Spears that had to do with her book. This is kind of like, this is where I want to make a distinction now. Okay? There's different levels of files in these files, in my opinion. This is my channel, this is my opinion. Some of the files are literally emails between people directly to Jeffrey Epstein. Some of them are emails directly to him. Some of them are emails directly from him. Some of them are, flight logs. Some of them are photographs. This is like direct evidence, in my opinion. Now, there is, I think, testimonial evidence can be considered direct evidence technically. However, I believe, in my opinion, you can put a 2 in the chat if you agree, it's a different type of evidence when it's somebody making an allegation, especially when it's, from 10 or 20 years prior, versus there's the email right there. There's the picture right there. To me, it's a different type of evidence. It leaves, in my opinion, a little bit larger of a benefit of the doubt, a little bit larger of a reasonable doubt. Because I know firsthand, that people will lie to authorities, people will lie to cops if they don't like them. So that is some of the evidence is like that. Some of the evidence is like, people who are just venting, people who are talking about their memory, talking about their experience. No. And to me, I find, in my opinion, people to be credible or less credible or more credible depending on a bunch of situations, things like that. But I know that it is a sensitive topic because a lot of people are like, you just have to believe all of it. Anybody saying that they're a victim, you have to believe them. Okay, fine. What if tomorrow Harvey Levin says he's a victim? Oops. You know what I mean? So I want to be clear that some of this is like, just because somebody's in the Epstein files, mentioned in the Epstein files, or even send an email directly to Jeffrey Epstein, I don't think it necessarily means the same thing as there's a picture of you doing something. Okay. So this right here evidence is, this right here thing right here is like one of the ones that's like from somebody. This isn't an email. To Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that. But it's somebody that's kind of like venting. And she might be telling the truth for you. Michelle, I'm very aware that you used to work for Oprah and are acquainted with Gayle King. This is in the Britney universe as well. This is the other Britney thing that I found and wanted to bring to y'all's attention. All of you will be investigated thoroughly for your role in aiding and abetting Epstein's crimes, which I am party to. So I don't know if she's aided and abetted to or what. I was given $1 million book advance, to which, Michelle, you took $500,000 to write my book. Okay, so this person's writing a book. How could you betray me, Michelle, and why? And why take the $500,000? then you too try to get me to sign this contract. And Steve, you were paid $150,000 out of my advance. I would like that money back from both of you. How dare you both? How could you do this to a car and traffic victim? I think this is someone purporting to be a victim. And she was trying to get her book published. And she's writing to the people who were going to publish her book, and she's saying, look, you didn't even do what you were supposed to do. Give me my money back. Michelle at my book publishing dinner, December 7th, 2021 at Nobu, Judith, Paul, and Steve, all of you guys could talk about was HarperCollins giving me the job of pitching for Britney Spears' memoir, which incidentally HarperCollins lost. Okay, so remember this? Money grab? We're getting a little backdoor information, allegations about it. They were at dinner talking about pitching Britney Spears' book. Who is she writing to? Michelle? Okay, this is interesting. So all of this was more important than enjoying the evening with me. With Frida was also talked about. With me signing with Frida was also talked about. In actual fact, Frida and this Viacom agreement, Viacom owns Nickelodeon, Viacom owns Paramount, Paramount owns Nickelodeon, last I checked. And so, Zoe 101, the consolation prize, remember Zoe 101, Britney Spears' sister's show? Britney Spears' sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, is who they tried to put in charge of the trust at the last moment, and then Jamie Lynn Spears, Britney's sister, was then going to try and put Britney's money into Lou Taylor's old old investment firm, Stonebridge. Remember all that? So we have Viacom entering the chat, and to me, it just starts to look like proof, or at least, I'll say this, support for what a lot of us from Free Britney have been kind of knowing, not no, but no, for a long time. Everybody was in on it. Every entity was in on it. The courts were in on it. The cops were in on it. The police were in on it.
Heather.
The family. Everybody was in on the trafficking of Britney Spears, in my opinion. And these powers that be. We're getting Viacom name dropped. There's a Viacom deal here. This lady's saying she got ripped off, stolen from. All of this was more important than anything about me and my signing. It was my book signing. Y'all talk about Britney Spears. This Viacom agreement was mentioned before my book was even published. So how is that possible? I don't know. Michelle, you threw me under the bus to get the opportunity to be Britney Spears' ghostwriter. And your career with HarperCollins was more important than doing the right thing and protecting a R and ST victim. Nice one. I'm tired of all your BS. Shame on you, Michelle Burford. I want my money back. And you can shove my book up here where the sun don't shine. Now, y'all know I'm looking at who's Michelle Burford. Now, this is just something in the files. I don't know. This is her right here. I don't know who this person is. I don't know which victim is making these allegations. That's just, like I said, it's like 6 million pages. So I was just taking screenshots and going. And I'm going to have to take more time. Probably more slides to look more into it.
Making a scarf or a beanie? No, I'm making a sweater.
This is what comes up.
So,
Our collaborator, a New York Times best-selling author. There's Simone Biles. That's her last name. She's a really good gymnast. Let me type in.
Simone Biles is also a victim of trafficking, and abuse because of the Dr. Larry.
HarperCollins didn't end up getting it anyway,
What's his
so I don't know
face?
if that's
Larry
true.
Nasser.
I don't know if she ended up writing for
So yeah, it's a
I thought that y'all
Scandinavian yoke sweater, the one that has like the geometric patterns around your chest.
Okay, so I think I pretty
So
much covered
that's
the
the neck
Britney
hole,
stuff. Let's move
and
on to
then
the next.
that's the front chest area. So in this one,
Let's go to Alex Spiro.
I'm like right
This
here.
is
I've just done like this part.
I'm showing you. I'm sorry. This is one of the most powerful and
Right
prolific
there.
lawyers in the world. In the world. One of the most. He is Elon Musk's lawyer.
Knitting better with
He
sticks.
is Mr. Beast's lawyer.
Knitting, you use knitting needles. Crochet, you use crochet tools.
Lawyer.
Two different
His law firm is also Meg
methods.
Thee Stallion's lawyer. He is a big deal. He's a very big deal. And
Crochet tool
really, you don't lose.
is this, so it's two different. The way the stitches look are different. So like,
I think he's a triple threat because when Alex Spiro is on one side of the case, you can guarantee.
so this is what crochet looks like. These rows here. So that's what the crochet stitches look like. And this, like V's, they look like V's, like a braid. It looks like a hair braid if you just look at one row of it going straight down. See this one row right here? It's like it looks like a braid of hair. And so the V, that's what knitting makes the stitch look like. With crochet, it's totally different. I think crochet is better for industrial type uses, more like functional. So like this is a bag. It's gonna last forever. It's made out of cotton. You know, it's great. But for clothing, to make an actual wearable fabric, this is better. If I had done this in crochet, not only would I use 3 times as much yarn, but because knitting uses way less, but also it would be the big bulky, you know, whatever. And now you can even see kind of here where the stitches aren't perfect, like the ones that are different colors are different sizes. This is when I was learning how to do all of it, and I still didn't know what I was doing. So as you can see, from here to here, it's better than here and here. And that's all right. You know, I'm learning. Let's say. Honestly, your homegirl would learn a lot easier and better by going on YouTube and searching crochet for beginners. And everything she wants to do, look up a video for each thing. When she wants to learn how to do a single crochet stitch, learn how to do that. Learn how to do a double crochet, a triple crochet, and then you can put all those together yourself. Or you can follow a pattern and then you'll know what you're doing. Shout out to Homegirl Squishy. Where's my thing at? There it is. One, two. Get in there. Two, three. Two. One. 2, 3, 2. 2, 3, 2. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Done with that row. Now, where are we at? 2, 3, 2. Okay, so 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2. I have to make a stitch. So make one. Make one. One. 2. 3. Lower this just a little. There we go. Art is fun. Right, exactly. It doesn't have to be perfect anyway. Gatekeeping? What gatekeeping what? Why is my dehumidifier off? So you make one, 1, 2, 3. Two. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1. Heather. Nope. Seriously, Heather. I need 30 seconds. I'm gonna close my eyes for 30 seconds.
Especially under influence of things, especially if they were very young and now years have gone by, especially if it was a trauma surrounding the event. Sometimes the trauma can make you remember it really, really good, but not always. So, you know, we never know for sure if something somebody is saying from memory happened unless we have some type of other backup out, you know, a video, some corroborating evidence, you know, things like that. So
No, I don't make the yarn or anything like that
I
myself.
just typed in Alex Spiro, you know, into the Department of Justice Epstein files. Now, the most recent ones that just came out were 9, 10, 11, and 12.
I'm not blending the two
They've been
colors
dropping
together.
in
I'm
batches.
using them
And
separately
your guess
in
is as good as mine
each
on why they've
instance.
been doing that. But they have been dropping them in batches. So I just typed in Alex Spiro. I'm just curious, you know. And then you see there are a few, at least 1, 2, 3, 4,
Trying to get the
5, 6,
twist out
7,
of
at least
it.
7 hits, you know, getting returned. So this was in 2019. Now this incidentally, just I'm gonna say it's a coincidence. I truly don't have any reason to believe it's related at all. But it's right around the exact same time Britney Spears was in that facility. Right at that same time, you know, I was in law school at this time. 2019, Alex Spiro is being mentioned in the Epstein file in these emails. Again, mentioned, just like Harvey. He's not the one sending the email from, you know, what I've been able to gather. And in fact, and indeed, I can't tell who is sending the email because it's redacted. But I can assume it's not Alex Spiro who is actually sending the email because it's about him, like in the third person. So from the staff, it says, took Alex Spiro, his NYC partner, Stone Cold Killer. So I can only assume the Stone Cold Killer in question is Alex Spiro, right? Alex Spiro, his NYC partner, Stone Cold Killer. This is
My brain is trying to make me take a nap, and I don't want to take a nap. I want to knit.
2019 in January. Alex Spiro and Burke.
My brain
both
is
have
like,
worked with Ben. I don't know who's Burke, who's Ben, but I'm just showing y'all.
I think it might be her. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to change you, girly. I'm gonna switch over to TikTok so I can put on. Sorry, I'm yelling in your ear. It's right here in my mouth. I'm gonna put on TikTok so that I can listen to copywritten stuff. My TikTok is lean into the cringe, all one word.